Pace cars in. Gibbs and Bell on the front row. It's time to go racing at North Wilkesboro.
Tell you, it's so awesome to watch. I don't want to interrupt it, but pretty amazing to see these cars getting around this racetrack. We're gonna have a great race tonight.
Ty Gibbs out to the race lead. Hocevar up to second. Bell settles into third. Chastain did make his trip down the pit lane, had the pass through. He's now pulled off on the back straightaway.
There's Chastain down into turn 3, and you see the rest of the field through 1 and 2. Running around the bottom of the racetrack right now, Steve. Talk about that groove trying to move up the racetrack. We saw the truckers and using the bottom a little bit more than they had in the past. That'll be interesting to see as the night goes on if they migrate up off the bottom.
And that rainstorm watching the rubber off not just changes the preferred groove from bottom to top, but this first stage, 80 laps in length, you can make it on fuel. I think the tires can make it no problem, but this green racetrack will definitely eat at the tires more early. Be patient on the throttle. Try not to spin those rear tires.
97, Shane Van Gisbergen looking good early. Had a great run at Atlanta. Benefits from that as we set the lineup here tonight with the metric. So he gets to start up front, and he was great yesterday. Ran the truck race, finished third, and here racing a real good one in Chase Elliott for position.
Another thing we don't talk about, you kind of see it on that camera angle, the bump off of turn 4, right on the bottom of the racetrack. If you're in that low line, such as SVG, trying to get up off of 4 underneath this 9-car Chase Elliott, it's real difficult. The car jumps across that bump, wants to hop sideways into throttle. See a little bit of a depression or a little change of color in the racetrack right there on the low side of the corner on exit.
Chase Elliott wants to keep that track position involved in that in-season challenge semifinal with Todd Gilliland up in front of them side by side for position 43. Eric Jones, the green and white Toyota, outside of Tyler Reddick, and Hamlin right behind them.
Eric Jones, currently the last car in the chase, 16th in points, 8 above the cut line. A nice job from Legacy Motor Club, continuing to improve. 43 week after week, runs higher than I think the garage expects, and here he is inside the top 5 early, leaning on that good run at Atlanta.
Yeah, top 5 last week sets him up for success here early on. It's his second top 5 of the year. Really been getting better and better.
Reddick rolling around the bottom there, trying to just a shorter distance, hoping that he'll be able to clear that 43, but a lot of good speed on the top of the racetrack right now for Eric Jones. Just trying to hang on. You see that bump, the 45 car goes through, upsets the car just a little bit.
And this is where the patience really comes into play, because right there, the 45 just thinks he's going to be clear, but he can't come off the corner far enough.
Now that they're running the bottom of 1 and 2, they're running lower than they have ever ran here with this next gen car. There's a bump there as well, trying to get down into the bottom. You kind of jump across a little bit of a patch right here at the end of pit wall.
Then he doesn't know who to commit to. Who's going to move forward? Is it the car I own? Is it the 45 of Reddick? Man, another Toyota. Bell finally works underneath Hocevar. Hocevar kind of concedes the spot. Knows there's a gap out of his rear bumper. No reason to burn the tires up. Lets the 20 go.
I think he also saw how good this 20 car was in practice yesterday. That's the thing about practice people don't realize, is it sort of sets the tone for the weekend. And if you got a really, really fast car, your job becomes a lot easier on Sunday because everybody knows how quick you are. It's really a waste of time probably for Hocevar to try to hold him up any more than he had to.
This battle will not go away. What's the report, Team 45, Shannon?
Yeah, Adam, we know how much Tyler Reddick loves running that high line, but Billy Scott told me in practice he spent a lot of time on the bottom. He said, we felt like we got beat last year because we weren't able to make that bottom work, so we made a conscious effort to make that work in practice. Marty.
Shannon, what a fight here between Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick, and Eric's been making that high line work. See, when I talked to Eric right before the race started, he said in practice, we honestly were not that good. We took some major swings at the car. I have no idea what's going to happen in the race. So if you're Justin Alexander, Steve, and you see that your driver has moved forward 2 spots early and is fighting like this and making the high line work, you got to feel pretty good about that 43 car.
Feel pretty good. Not trying to be negative, but just also reminding him to just take care of equipment. I love it if this is not a lot of use of the tire, but if you feel like you're abusing the tires, it's okay to concede because it's just so hard to pass. 12 of Ryan Blaney, we mentioned it, had the pole from the metric, gave it up because of a steering change that was required. Here he is mired back in pack. He's 32nd right now. He's just looking nowhere to go. Top, bottom, it's clogged.
Yeah, meanwhile, just ahead of him, you see the 5 car of Larson way up the racetrack, probably about 4 or 5, 10 spots ahead. He's actually made a few spots as we're riding on board now.
He started 27th, up to 22nd now, knocking on the door of the top 20. This elevation, this really puts it all into perspective here.
See, make an adjustment to the race car, probably some brake bias there. He was running the top of the racetrack really, really high in 1 and 2. Now he's back to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to find a way around some of these cars, try to continue moving forward.
Reigning champ hasn't won in more than 40 races, but when you look at his history, so good at short track racing, in particular here at North Wilkesboro. Won the All-Star race a few years ago, won in a truck event here. He knows his way to the front.
Man, look at that. That's so much fun to watch. He clears the 42, rolling around the bottom of turn 1 and 2. His car looks pretty good. He wasn't quite as fast as Bell in practice yesterday, but he was the 2nd best race car, I thought, on the racetrack.
+6 in 20 laps for Kyle Larson. He's 21st in the running order. Ty Gibbs leading the way. He's led them all tonight. His teammate behind him, Christopher Bell. Hocevar, Jones, and Reddick, the rest of the top 5. Trade the biggest moments in racing on Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TNT to get $10 when you trade $10. Kalshi, trade what's next. Almost 30 laps in to this opening stage here at North Wilkesboro. Out front, it's been all about Ty Gibbs. Bell right behind him, some distance back to Hocevar in 3rd. Reddick is fourth, and Logano now inside the top
right
5
there.
as we focus on the 48 of Alex Bowman.
Yeah, Bowman's trying to get by this 42, squeezes him on the back straightaway. Let's look at this little replay right here. Some contact is Bowman probably thought that was more his, the 42's fault, John Hunter Nemechek, and feels like he probably kind of came down on him right there. Not very happy about that. 42 struggling here, dropping back, losing positions. Stenhouse just about to turn him around right there. Now we're 3 wide.
You got to tiptoe if you're Ryan Blaney.
It's a great battle.
Let's jump up to
You
Bowman.
can look at the 47.
Oh, I love that
to
move.
the outside here. If he can get there, it's interesting whether the 42 even gives him the room. Here's his chance to try to jump to the outside. He's going to be able to do it off of turn 4 here. 3 wide. Look at Blaney sideways.
My. See that thing dancing across the start-finish line?
That's a lap of tire life taken out of the right rear in one corner.
Blaney's using up a lot of race car here trying to get around this 42 and just make any headway. Here's that bump off of turn 4 right
Still there.
Can't really get in the gas. And then he wrapped the corner down. He ran over. Let's see if he does it again. Right there's a big bump. Hoping the car does it. Hope the car will turn across those issues of that content in the racetrack. Marty, what you got on the 12?
Oh, Dale, you should hear the spotter radio for the 12. Tim Fedewa sounds like an air traffic controller trying to get his driver from 35th, where he officially started the race, up through the field. So he's gained a couple spots up to 27th right now. You know, it's funny, Steve, in their meeting this morning between the team and Ryan Blaney, he told Jonathan Hassler, my #1 concern is going down a lap earlier. And Hassler said, hey, I hear you, and I know what you mean. My #1 concern, you take care of my race car. You mentioned the new bumper package, so they're being very careful. But how do you get your driver to kind of be careful, trying to come up from the back of the pack, trying to get back to the front where he had that position to start the race?
Well, I don't know if careful is a word you can use while trying to work through traffic, but maybe just trying to make good decisions. I believe Blaney is being patient as he gets squeezed next to the 47, but the leader's here, right?
Yeah.
The 54 is less than a half a lap behind the 12, so that's what Blaney was talking about.
Well, the 54 is catching lap traffic right now. The first car there, the 51. And so as soon as he gets by him, if he should, there's the rest of the field. The back of the field is here. So that should be able to allow the 20 of Bell to close the gap just a little bit. And also one of the things I noticed, the 54 of Ty Gibbs hasn't moved off the bottom of the racetrack. A lot of cars starting to find speed at the very, very top. Watch Christopher Bell run the top and run really well. And a lot of cars back through the field doing that as well. So I think, though, you made the point, Steve, rolling around the bottom's better on the tires this early in the race. Look at the 11. Trying to get around the 43. Little contact right there.
Look out.
Yeah,
Toyota. Contact with another Toyota, and here comes Chase Elliott as we get our first caution of the night. John Hunter Nemechek around in the 42.
I wonder how that happened.
Whoa.
Yeah. Man, that was getting pretty good right there with Denny. He'd sit there and watch the 45 of Reddick try to pass the 43 for so many laps, and he's like, I'm not going to waste all that time. I'm just going to try to move you out of the way.
Center. No front turn. Just terrible.
Yep. I agree. You were struggling there. Nemechek falling back through the field with the balance issue of that race car.
So we know tires matter. The question is, does someone at the back, like a Blaney or a Larson, gamble and try to jump up the leaderboard, or do they think with, it's going to be mid to high 30 laps to go? Let's see exactly what happens. Top of the screen, 38, Zane Smith into the left rear. Around you go.
Yeah, I wonder if Zane got down into the corner maybe and chased the back of the car up to correct maybe the back end moving around and gets into the side of the 42, spins him out.
Nemechek was 31st, and it's Cody Ware who was the first car 1 lap down. He gets the free pass. Chastain stays a lap down.
Let's see what happened here. Whoa, now they just kind of both came together, it looks like. I didn't really see the back of the 38 move up the racetrack or anything like that. That happens right in front of the leader. Then there's this little battle that was really getting good.
Yeah.
Danny, caution might have saved us there a little bit. Let everybody calm down and think about where they are in life.
Oh, then the 9 and the 11 have a little disagreement after this.
Yeah, they've had disagreements on short tracks when you think about over the years.
Well, there's that little hit between the 43 and the 11. And then after the yellow, it looks to me that right here, the 11 comes up. The 9.
Oh, they were trying to miss the 42.
I didn't see the 42. From the head-on shot, I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Now I see why they were evasive maneuvering. 22 running really well tonight inside the top 5 on pit road, Marty.
You see Joe Logano hitting pit road. Christopher Bell said almost immediately in the race. The car was a lot tighter than I expected to start the race. Carson Hocevar, wow, Bell almost hit his crew member leaving. You see these right side tire changes. Hocevar said his car was just way too tight. They're going to go 4 tires on the 77. And you saw Ty Gibbs said it was tight for him. 2 tires for him as well. But I wouldn't make many changes to it.
Gibbs and Bell, the first 2 off the pit lane. Their teammate Denny Hamlin stays out. We'll get the restart when we return on TNT. NASCAR Cup Series racing on TNT is brought to you by Brestree. Visit us at brestree.com. And by Window World, America's exterior remodeler. Let's go back to pit stops here. And we'll focus on the 20 of Christopher Bell.
Yeah, stops are super, super fast. They've not done pit stops on this pit road with the entire field. Look at how quick and fast this is. Trying to get out of there. You got cars coming in their stalls, leaving their stalls, a 5 back on pit road. Danielle.
An issue for Kyle Larson. That last stop they took 2, exiting the stall, they hit their teammate, contact with the 88. With the 48 rather. They said, come back in, we have a wheel that is broken. Cliff Daniels is diagnosing it now. The call initially was to take 4 guys. Trouble for Kyle Larson after such a strong start.
Well, you mentioned 2 tires on the 5, trouble there that if he hit hard enough to break a wheel, you see him measuring up underneath right now.
Measuring the toe on the front.
I think they're measuring yeah, exactly. I couldn't quite see it, but there's to the left side of that crew member, there's a piece of aluminum. You see it in his hand right there. So measuring the front toe. Strategy, pretty busy. Okay, let's take a look right here on board with Logano. Excuse me, with Larson.
Man, that's a hard one.
Smokes.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah,
88.
that was the 88 is Zillage.
So the 88 is Zillage. Yeah, so the 88 is Zillage is likely there's some damage.
That was way harder than I expected.
He's been to pit road. You see the repair there. So they've come down to pit road as well.
The splitter pad is pushed down a little bit, so you might feel some contact.
So I'm less concerned about the splitter damage as I am the wheel on the right front of the 5 car. Maybe we can see that one more time. That was way harder.
Think about all the trouble these 2 guys have had, though. I mean, such a rough year, rough summer for Connor Zillage, the rookie. But go to the last couple of weeks for Larson. I mean, that run of top 5 finishes 34th the last 2 weeks. at Chicago and Atlanta. Let's go back and look at it again.
Bam!
That's really, really hard.
That is really hard damage to the right front of the 5. I know they measured the toe, but you're measuring in quarter inches, maybe 1/8 inches with a tape measure in a hurry. These things are set to thousandths of an inch. Another quick update, the 11 of Denny Hamlin has taken the lead over, stayed out from 7. So old tires for Denny Hamlin, 2 tires surround him.
And he does the choose going outside for the restart. Gibbs to his left, row 2, Bell, Van Gisbergen. They're coming to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green again with 32 to go, stage 1.
SVG around the top there, being able to take over second position.
How about it? 97 up to second. Michael McDowell right in that mix as well in the 71. Varying strategies, changes where you are in the lineup, gives you some opportunities.
Every crew chief on pit road watching how the 11 is going to succeed versus the 97 on 2 tires.
Ty Gibbs up the racetrack with 3 wide down the back straightaway. Seabell to the inside. Ty Gibbs a rough couple of laps here, trying to stop the bleeding as he's starting to lose a few spots, having to fight, battle up front for the lead. SVG to the inside. Denny on the older tires.
I mean, we know what an ace this guy is when it comes to road course racing, but he has started to show real flashes on the ovals, and he's been very consistent when it comes to the short tracks. Muscle up from New Zealand, 97 inside, trying to take the race lead, and he's got it. How about that?
Impressive. You say muscle up. He's also proven that he's not afraid of a little beating and banging on a short track. Clean pass there, but he has settled into the NASCAR world very comfortably.
And you see Ty Gibbs fighting back, trying to gain those positions lost to the outside of the 71. McDowell down the back straightaway, little tight right there. Riding on board with the Toyota onboard camera of Christopher Bell. And he's trying to get that acceleration off the corner. Now to the outside of McDowell as well. He's got the position on McDowell on corner exit. Really tight right there. Another car we haven't really talked about is Joey Logano in that 22. He's led more laps than anybody here in the All-Star races we've ran at Louisville Wilkesboro. And we wondered whether he would come here and have speed. It's been a tough year, but that 22 car has been running well all night. Had good practice speed yesterday.
He's second in line right now, Logano is, of those drivers that took 4 tires on that last cycle of stop. 77 leads that group. Carson Hocevar, he got 4 there. Let's get some radio from the 97 group and Shane Van Gisbergen.
Bleeding. What the f do I do now? I don't know. Coach Green.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, here's something to think about. I mean, a lot of stage points out there. 24 to go, stage 1. And Van Gisbergen needs them. Comes in 30 over the cut line. What a great start to this race for them, Marty.
Adam leading at North Wilkesboro is not what SVG had on the plans this morning. When I talked to him, I said, "You ever run short tracks before?" He said, "Never anything like this, but I love it." And remember, he ran the Truck Series race yesterday, finished 3rd in that race. What he learned, Shannon, is that the bottom line works really well at North Wilkesboro. He used it to take the lead here.
What we're learning right now for the 11 team right now is risk versus reward, guys. I told you, Denny Hamlin told me he is not going to be conservative with that points lead. He is going to push it. There is no defense. They decided to stay out even though he has his hands full with that car. Listen.
The tight initial throttle is killing me. Do you think we need to work on it? I mean, my gut was dog was my gut. Copy. I don't know. It's kind of whatever you think.
I'm sure dogs is keyword for, I don't know, stay out or come in, but they decided to stay out, and now he is losing track position, just trying to hang in that top 3.
You might say who let the dogs out because they're coming from behind him. Hocevar, Logano got those 4 tires, and they are there.
Yeah, Logano's making quick work. Look, 77 in a tough spot aerodynamically right there is going to allow the 22 to even up on the front straightaway. A little bit of contact down the front straightaway between the 2 and the 71. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some pushing and shoving. Disagreement between Cindric and McDowell. Cindric has cleared the 71 now. William Byron is going to try to attack while the 71 is frustrated. Here's what happened. They were 3 wide.
Yeah, it looked like the 19 gets to the outside, and the 71 of McDowell just trying to give the room to the 19 of Briscoe. The 2 of Cindric unaware they were 3 wide. Passing for third, the 22 of Logano still driving through the field in his 22 car.
And I know the 11 of Hamlin doesn't love how his car was driving. 7th when he decided to stay out, now getting passed for third. Looking at the speed difference, he's probably going to have a hard time staying in time inside the top 7. Shannon, Joey Logano running third, looking nice.
He really is, and he has taken advantage of the last few weeks to climb in the points. He was 20th in the points at Sonoma, and now 17th, just 8 to that cut. He loves this track. Why? Well, he told me, I have fast cars. It's one of my favorites.
I mean, Dale talked about all the laps led here in those all-star performances. Nearly went back-to-back a year ago, had that epic battle in the closing laps with Christopher Bell, came home a runner-up. And now we look at 1-2 tonight. Shane Van Gisbergen a half a second in front of Ty Gibbs.
Options all around the racetrack on where to run. You have Shane running the bottom, Ty Gibbs kind of running the middle. They're spread over. As we look back at the field, you see on the right-hand side, 2, 3 wide. There's a great example of the 97 running the bottom, the 54 running 1 lane up, the 22 kind of diamond in the corner.
Yeah, Gibbs is going to get there. Will SVG alter his line at all? Will he move up the racetrack, try to see if he can find some speed? Me and you, Steve, been watching this group right here. This 10 of Ty Dillon has been running the fence on both ends. A lot of people running down here 1 and 2, but he's running the fence in turn 3 as well. It's made it difficult for people to get by him. He's able to hang on to track position by being stubborn. I would think he would be proud to be called that.
How about this, though? Blaney starts in the back, doesn't gain a lot of ground, was like plus 8 or 9, whatever it was, but they get 4 tires inside the top 15. They got to love where they are right now.
Mission accomplished. What was it? Don't get lapped. Take care of your race car. Check, check with some reasonable track position.
That's right. And now for the race lead as we close on some lap traffic. 66 is Chad Fincham.
SVG has to run the bottom here around the lap car of Fincham. Little contact right there. Man. Gibbs dives to the bottom as well. Closes the gap just a little bit.
10 to go, stage 1. Top 2 guys got 2 tires when they pitted at lap 42. Logano got 4, he rides in third.
Great battle for the lead up front. The battle for the free pass is heating up as well. The 42 of Nemechek, who brought out the yellow, and the 1 of Chastain, who had a penalty. They're trying to beat each other's bumpers off at the back of the field. The 54 trying to run them down. Look to the right here. The 42 of John Hunter Nemechek has a spot. Chastain is trying to run him down. This could be the difference, right? Getting your lap back at the end of stage 1 can make for a great night or an awful night.
But think about last week, Chastain got a lap down at Atlanta, comes back, has a good finish. They were solid. And when you think about how the night started for them with the pass-through, if you could get back on the lead lap into stage 1, I'd have to say they are ahead of schedule.
Chastain can beat the 42 through turns 3 and 4. Let's see what he does in turns 1 and 2 here. He's right on his back bumper. He's going to have to figure out another line to run because the 42 is kind of in the defensive position. Can Chastain get to the top here? He does.
Oh,
what a move. Little contact right there.
They know it's on the line. They've been told.
They're telling Nemechek, man, that's the lucky dog of the free pass right there.
What a move by Chastain.
Yeah.
So well done around the top.
Chastain not in Statesville anymore.
No.
He joked that that's where he was going to start this race.
Yeah, welcome to Wicks County.
He's now in position to get back on the lead lap. Going to be 5 to go in the stage, this time by. And SVG continues to hold off Gibbs down to Danielle.
Such a shame for Ross Chastain that he got penalized by having to start in the rear, have that pass-through penalty because of failing tech, because he was 3rd in the All-Star race here at North Wilkesboro last year, 2 top 10s and 3 All-Star race starts. 3rd in practice yesterday before that penalty, Adam, so that one has a lot of speed and a lot of experience here.
Yeah, the 54's got a lot of speed as well. 22 of Joey Logano's closing in on this lead battle. Great run off the corner to the inside. SVG throws the block, but he overruns the corner, misses the bottom. Gibbs to the bottom of the racetrack trying to get under SVG. Here comes Logano with the momentum.
Shane Van Gisbergen leading laps on a short track for the first time in his career. He's 2.5 laps away from winning the stage, but he's got plenty of company. It's SVG, it's Ty Gibbs, it's Joey Logano, going to be 2 remaining stage 1.
Ty just can't roll the center of the corner well enough to get to the top of that 97 car. He'll try it down here again in 1 and 2.
Oh, this is getting good.
and hey, keep an eye on this.
He's there.
Because it could be a preview of what we'll see at the end of the night. So reminiscent of what we saw last spring in the All-Star race. Going to be 1 to go in the stage. It continues to be SVG, Gibbs, Logano, 1, 2, 3.
SVG being very defensive, throwing some blocks. Ty Gibbs to the outside now.
SVG shuts him down, pushes him out. Can Gibbs get there side by side for the lead in a stage victory here at North Wilkesboro? 54 power move. Ty Gibbs takes it in stage 1. That's his 4th stage win of the year, and he's been Mr. Short Track. Got his first career victory at Bristol back in the springtime.
Yeah, just real smart, patient racing right there between both those drivers. SVG doing everything he could to keep the position, throwing blocks. Gibbs finally gets to the outside and gets the job done.
Everybody chasing points, and some of those guys up there in the top 10 really earned them in stage 1. NASCAR Cup Series racing on TNT is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, Toyota, Let's Go Places, and by Credit One Bank. For what's ahead. Stage 1 complete, a thrilling stage 1 here at North Wilkesboro. The win goes to Ty Gibbs. On a gorgeous Sunday evening in the hills of North Carolina, pit road is open. Shannon?
Joey Logano holding serve in the top 3. Feels like he's lost the center and front end turn. 4 tires for that 22, Marty.
Shannon, it wasn't the stage win for SVG, and he joked with Stephen Dorn, his crew chief. Sorry, I tried. I ran out of rears on that last lap. Too free on entry and exit. It was the stage win for Ty Gibbs. He said, my only complaint, a little bit too tight firing off. 4 tires, the general rule here on pit road.
Ty Gibbs gets the jump, pulls out in front of Logano, Shane Van Gisbergen, Hamlin out 4th, and then it's Carson Hocevar. Stage 2 coming up.
Welcome back to the Window World 450. Got some news for you guys. Our Stage 1 winner, Ty Gibbs, speeding on pit road. He'll restart Stage 2 at the tail end of the longest line, but incredible racing all over the racetrack throughout that first stage. Jamie, what stood out?
Well, the track's really wide, which the driver's going to like, but I'm looking at Joey Logano right now. When I think about tonight and the fact that we saw some strategy with Hamlin in the first stage, Joey Logano, Paul Wolf are lethal when it comes to strategy and staying out. Nobody is better at that than the 22 car, and he has speed.
For me, SVG is running up front on an oval. This guy's coming around. I don't like it because we're racing him for points with the 43 car, but dang, he looked good out there.
He was that close to winning his first stage ever, not on a road course. And boys, up in the booth, I'm telling you, we sat down here for the whole first stage. And if we stay here by the end of this thing, we're going to look like Cole Trickle, Rowdy Burns, and Russ Wheeler with all the debris and rubber all over our face.
Okay, I'm here for it. All right, Larson had a penalty there. You know, he didn't have a lot of track position anyway. Riley Herbst and Cody Ware also got penalties. They'll come from the back.
The 97, look at the front windshield on that thing. I mean, it can't be very easy to see out of the half peeled off.
It's as if they tried. It's as if they tried to get the tear off and didn't get it entirely. So you see those.
Yeah,
those little tabs over there on the right side.
Up here.
Those little tabs. Every time they come down pit road, they're going to grab one of them tabs and try to pull off a dirty sheet, cleaning the windshield instantly. Let's listen to some radio.
Saw the tear off. I know it's not ideal. Hopefully it'll blow off. Yeah, the bubbles are real bad. It's real distorted right in front of me.
That is absolutely annoying. As a driver, you don't need that distraction, and it definitely will be a distraction until he can get that off the windshield. Now, I don't think that it has a chance of blowing off. Would be nice if it does, but I don't think it will.
Officially, his teammate Ross Chastain does get the free pass back on the lead lap. Gibbs comes from the back here, so that means Logano and SVG on the front row.
Christopher Bell back to 18th, spent 16 seconds on his pit stop working on the right front corner. We'll give you an update exactly what happened to the 20 car, but he's now outside the top 15.
Logano, the control car, as the leaders come through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Side by side for the lead, side by side for third. A lot of 2x2 as you go back through the field.
And SVG's done a good job just to get back up underneath this 22 car Logano. Almost leading that lap right there, possibly leading it side by side down into turn 1 and 2.
Hocevar jumps up in front of Hamlin for third. 97, not quite clear for the lead.
And he might get it down here in turns 3 and 4. Logano's gonna have to fight hard on corner exit. SVG's clear.
Slight bobble off the corner, but he's able to get up in front of Logano. Dives in front of him into the corner. Shane Van Gisbergen back on point.
Yeah, pretty defensive move, too, into turn 1. We'll see what Logano thinks about it.
I know you don't see a ton of blocking on short tracks, but
yeah.
SVG's definitely got that in his toolbox today. A little bit of a bobble right there on corner exit. Back here in the pack, Blaney trying to fight.
Working to get back inside the top 10.
A little more contact back here on this replay on the right side of the screen. The 554, the 42.
A couple of penalty cars having to come from the back on the restart.
You keep getting run into. You don't always even know who it is, but man, it gets you frustrated. By the end of the night, the next person that hits you, you tell yourself you're just going to take it out on them.
The climb continues for Ryan Blaney, Marty.
Yeah, I just checked in with Jonathan Hassler, his crew chief. I said, mission accomplished after stage 1. He said, more than I ever could have dreamed to have started 35th, finished 12th in that stage. Now be battling, trying to get into the top 10, which is just right in front of him, as you guys mentioned there with Chris Buescher. Meanwhile, you mentioned the pit stop for Christopher Bell. This is how tight pit road is here at North Wilkesboro. All they did, Steve, was pull some brake tape for the caliper and the rotor. That is it. That's the only lengthy thing they did on the stop, and he lost all those positions.
Yeah, well, it took about 4 seconds, so it must have just kept longer than they wanted, or it was tape that they didn't expect to have to get off. But I like making that commitment early. If Bell needs the brakes cooled to drive the car the way he needs, just take the penalty, lose the track position while you still have, you know, a ton of racing, 350 laps to go.
Yeah, and he's making some passes. He's flying around the top of this racetrack as the battle for second's now heated up right behind SVG. Hocevar has drove into the conversation here and to the inside of Joey Logano down into turn 1 and 2. Little slip of the back rear tires on that 77. Gets up a little bit of speed there.
SVG, Logano, and Hocevar. That 3 right there will sell tickets on its own. We don't need all 35 cars. Man. Pretty exciting battle with these 3.
I mean, look at the top 5, top 6. You got all these different organizations up there, all the manufacturers competing for position.
We're kind of back to the 97 running the bottom of the racetrack, and the 22's found speed running the high side of the track.
What I like the 22 does, Dale, is he runs the top, but it really turns in the middle, and it really comes down the hill. Right here, watch him turn off the top. Turn off the top, gets the power down, and that gives him that run down the back straightaway.
SVG may have to start thinking about getting up off the bottom of the racetrack. If he keeps getting hounded on that right rear quarter panel by the 22 car, he's going to start moving around.
You know, we've celebrated a lot of drivers tonight that have worked their way through the field, but what about Chase Briscoe? He's up inside the top 10. Really good start to the race after rolling off 30th tonight, Danielle.
Very impressive, 30th to 8th, Adam. He said, it feels really good getting into one, a little tight through the corner, but I have turn that's a lot better than most, I feel like. James Small gave him 2 tires that last stop to gain a lot of track position. Chase Briscoe's doing a great job holding it. James also said, remember, Chase, it's hot, it's humid out. Keep staying hydrated inside that race car.
Going to be a long night for all these drivers. Always good to remind your guy in the heat of battle. You know, they have these systems to try to hydrate and try to stay going from one chase to another, though. Chase Briscoe battling to try to find the 7th position. Chase Elliott currently running 4th, and he is all over the racetrack and kind of all over the rear bumper. The 77 high, low, everything is we're on board with this Napa onboard. Give you a great shot of this new pavement here at Wilkesboro, a couple years old.
Yeah, saw Chase go around the outside of the 11 of Denny Hamlin for 4th, and now he's trying to find a way around this 77 of Hocevar. Look at Hocevar slide up the racetrack.
Hey, we got the bracket in here. Elliott in 4th, in a position to advance in the in-season challenge. But let's give some love to Todd Gilliland.
Yes.
12th right now, got the contract extension this week. Awesome for him and everyone over at Front Row.
Yeah, I spent some time with Todd this week, and he was very happy to be returning to Front Row. He believes in what they're working on. He doesn't shy away from some of the challenges they've had. Really just looks to continue to build. I asked him about that battle with the 9. He just had a smile and a grin. He goes, well, I think everybody has us counted out, so why not us? It'd be great to eliminate the most popular guy.
It'd be a great couple of weeks. Get a new deal.
I will
win $1
tell
million
you,
bucks.
I asked him, did the new deal, address the $1 million if he wanted? He had that look in his face like, man, maybe I should have asked that question before we got the ink dry.
Battle for the lead still pretty hot and heavy right here. As the 22 starting to move up even higher on the racetrack, and look at the speed he generates down the straightaway. 23 above Wallace, trying to take a position away from his owner, Denny Hamlin.
You know, Hamlin falling a bit here, but we got to celebrate Wallace, who took 2 tires when they made their pit stop at the end of stage 1. He was 21st and now finds himself inside the top 5.
How about Logano now? Now instead of the diamond, he's just going to roll the high exit and try to get to the right rear of the 97.
Got a pretty good run right here down the back straightaway. A little defensive for SVG. We've seen that before. 22 to the outside. Can he stay there in throttle? He can. Down the front straightaway. 22's got the position. So it'll be a pretty easy pass to make for the 22 Logano off of turn 2 down the back straightaway.
That last time around was 48 laps led for Shane Van Gisbergen. That's the most tonight. But it's now Joey Logano in that outside lane that puts the 22 on point.
And we've made a lot about the down season of Joey Logano because statistically it has been awful for the 22. But just remember, you leave this multi-time champ. 3 times he's pulled it off. Keep him hanging around long enough, he may make you pay into the chase.
And when they won the title 2 years ago, that run started right here at North Wilkesboro with a win on All-Star Night. 40 laps in to stage 2 here at North Wilkesboro. Joey Logano leading. Our coverage on TNT presented by Liberty Mutual. Start drifting back through the top 10. And just outside the top 10, riding 11th right now, Austin Dillon. Let's get an update there. What's going on, Shannon?
Yeah, another solid weekend for Austin Dillon, who finished 7th at Atlanta. He is the 3rd generation of Childress men to race here at North Wilkesboro. There you see his granddad, Richard Childress, right there. He started in 19 races at this track. Dad, Mike Dillon, he won 2 late model races here. Austin, of course, now driving that 3. He told me that he grew up listening to everyone riding up that elevator in Victory Lane, and of course would love to do it today. Guys, Richard Childress was on the radio for Dad Mike Dillon when he won those late model races, and you know that he is encouraging his grandson right now.
RC, he's not afraid to jump on the radio, give it a little encouragement, maybe a little coaching. He drove that race.
Maybe some commentary on other drivers, right?
I love it. I love it. The sport's lucky to have an owner like RC. Been around this long, here every single week. All these owners are so committed, but he always finds a place to perch up. You can always see him find a place to watch. Today it's in Victory Lane.
You see that 23 car, Bubba Wallace. He's lost the position he gained from his owner, Denny Hamlin. Denny's went back by him into 5th, and now Bubba's starting to struggle just a little bit here, falling back to this little battle. And then the 12 of Blaney. Done a great job tonight getting through the field.
That 2-tire stop to gain track position might be showing up for Bubba Wallace. Briscoe is there. We talked about Blaney. 12 car's got his best running position of the night after coming from deep in the field. And you know what I love about this, and we talked about it earlier, Steve, they didn't play any games. It wasn't a 2-tire stop. They just straight up went after it. He's got speed driving to the front.
He has speed, and watch how the 12 runs this racetrack. We talk a lot about the top, the bottom, and all the options. He rolls in the bottom, super patient. Watch how low this exit is. His left front basically gets all the way below the white line. That's a car that's doing a lot of the right things. Blaney just in rhythm, just clicking laps off. He knows this is a long stage 2.
Another car that's done a good job kind of working his way forward, Christopher Bell. They made the adjustment on pit road, pulling a little bit of tape on the brakes. Here he is on the outside of the 2 of Cindric for 12th position.
Bell recovering, yeah.
Yeah, Bell's +6 since the restart. And then 21 car too, Josh Berry, a little short track ace around this area. He's +5 since the restart in the Wood Brothers car.
We talk a lot about I'm sorry, Adam. I was going to say about Logano. Think about a driver that could use a run. This 21 of Josh Berry could really use a good run.
But we know the connection with the Wood Brothers and Team Penske. And, I mean, Logano's out front. We've talked about how Blaney's driven through the field. Cindric inside the top 15. Berry right there with him. So collectively, those that are in the captain's court really doing a nice job here tonight.
I am blown away. I know that they run the top of the racetrack. I keep saying it so over and over. But look at the 20 over here in turn 3 and 4 off the screen. He's running so high in turn 3 and 4. The whole field's using that groove. What an incredible racetrack.
What's going on, Danielle?
Josh Berry right now in the 21 car saying that he went back on his rear air pressures and he feels better about the car. When we talked to Josh earlier today, he said, I'm the reason, a big part of the reason we are back here racing at North Wilkesboro after I raced for Dale Jr. in a late model. So Dale, are you going to let Josh Berry take all the credit?
I'll let anybody take some credit. There's a lot of different people. I know he's playing around, but there's a lot of different people that played a big role in this. But you know, it's been a tough year for Josh, and not sure what his plans are for next year. We know he won't be in this car again, but they still want to finish the season strong, and he's auditioning for whatever opportunities there may be for that young driver. He's still got a lot left in the tank.
Reigning champ in the O'Reilly Series, Jesse Love, driving for RCR now, will come over and drive the 21 next year as he'll run for Rookie of the Year at the Cup level. And we go back now to Ty Gibbs, so good in the early portion of this race, 28th after the speeding penalty.
Yeah, that speeding penalty has put him back in the back, and he just, you know, he's moved up a few spots, a handful of spots. It's just slow moving for the 54.
It's hard to preach patience, but I watch what Gibbs is doing from the back here, and it reminds me a little bit of what we... of what we saw from Blaney early as we get a good view here. It's the Cheddar's onboard camera riding with Austin Hill.
You talked about those old races here and just the grind that they can be. We're starting to see that. 46 lap green flag run. You were just mentioning Denny Hamlin. Maybe he was just cruising. Maybe he was just riding. Well, as the tires heat up, as they start to wear, here comes the 11, trying to methodically move his way forward.
This reminds me a little bit of Harvick. You know how good he was at Richmond over the years? And you would start a run, and he would drift.
Oh.
And I realized tire fall off here is not what it is there, but he would fade early in a run, and then as the run continued, here he would come. And Hamlin up another one now, fourth, going by Hocevar.
Yeah, you see that 88 falling back to the field. Zilich with the left front damage from on pit road, contact with a 5 car. Zilich had a top 10 car in practice. Thought he had decent times as well. We got the 9 car. Chase Elliott's moved up to second place. Got around SVG, maybe trying to close the gap. He is. You see that distance to second place getting shorter and shorter. The reason why is because the 22 car, you can see him on the right side of the screen, that yellow car way up there. He is in traffic. He's caught the back of the field. He's now had to move to the bottom of the racetrack where he doesn't really want to run, where he's not faster, to try to get around some of these cars who are using the high line.
Well, he told us in pre-race, his 4th race of the weekend, 2 cars tore races, and the truck race, that hopefully they were trending up. Every race he seems to finish better. Maybe the 4th one will be the magic.
He's also going to catch this lap traffic as well, but he's already chopped a couple of tenths off of that lead that Logano had.
He's a throwback kind of guy. And here we are at the ultimate throwback track. Chase Elliott second behind Logano. Van Gisbergen, Hamlin, Hocevar inside the top 5. We're 62 laps into stage 2 here at North Wilkesboro. Great Sunday night, Wilkes County, North Carolina, NASCAR on TNT, bringing you the Window World 450. Joey Logano leads, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Briscoe, the top 5. Let's make a run down the pit lane. We start with Marty Snyder. What's happening, Marty?
Boy, Adam, you think about North Wilkesboro, that just seems like a Chase Elliott race, doesn't it? Talking to Alan Gustin this morning, he said, listen, one of Chase's strengths is managing a run overall, taking care of the tires early, and that makes the car last longer. It's from his short track days, and that's what you're seeing from the 9 right now. Started 10th, very good long run car, Shannon, and they're showing it right now, sitting in second.
Your points leader, Denny Hamlin, working a little strategy on that first pit stop, guys. Stayed out, even though the handling was not perfect. He's been battling tight conditions the entire race. Remember, Denny Hamlin so good on short tracks, 5 wins in the next-gen car, most of any driver, but he has not won on a short track this season. Finished second at Martinsville, Danielle.
Shannon, Chris Buescher is running 10th right now. They took 2 tires on that last stop and gained 9 positions, and Buescher's been able to hold on to it. You know, it's interesting, Marty was just talking about Chase Elliott, who's also running in the top 10. I asked Buescher's crew chief, Scott Graves, this morning, I said, do you and Chase Elliott feel like you're similar in the way that you're always running top 10? You can top 10 the field to death, hit it straight down the middle. He said, it's funny you say that. I feel like we were always battling Chase Elliott for O'Reilly Series championships back in the day. He said this new point system really rewards teams like us. They're sitting 7th in the Chase standings. Buescher not winning a race so far yet this year, guys, but he's consistently running in the top 10, doing it right now again tonight.
You know, I talked to his crew chief, Scott Graves, Danielle, and he said the one area they felt like they needed improvement was short track. So they did that organizational test here earlier in the year, and it's paid off as he continues to hang around the top 10. Austin Cindric right there with him now in that Rusty Wallace throwback.
Yeah, we got that update from Marty that it was brake tape that Christopher Bell tried to get off the right front of the 20. I think they were able to get it off. Currently back up to 13th, but reading the radio, he still has some complaint about the brakes. So take a look at this. I'm going to compare the 11 of Denny Hamlin to the 20 of Christopher Bell. The 11 obviously taking care of his car, but running inside the top 5. And look at the right front of the 11. Looks normal, no temperature. Look at this right front of the 20 right here. A lot of temperature in that right front corner. This is after some brake tape was pulled. So you just have to wonder if the 20 doesn't have all the tools available behind the wheel, right? If your car's a little tight, you got to use a little bit of brake. Maybe you're a little loose in, but he can't really turn any more front brake in it. So you see the brake temperature still an issue for the 20 car. We'll have to just monitor that as the race goes.
Denny's moved up into second place around Chase Elliott. And this, you know, this kind of feels like, I told you at the top of the show, we'd probably get some long green flag runs. And we know this tire doesn't like, you know, doesn't like to be abused or pushed. Denny's not a driver that's going to go real hard on the early run, and it's starting to pay off as he's been able. He gave up some spots, gave up a few spots, fell back to 6th. Now he's drove back all the way to second place, just methodically, not even worrying about Logano and where he's at. He's just running fast enough to run the pace he's comfortable with, and now it is a good enough pace to drive him up into second place.
He's been kind of a late bloomer when you think about his success this summer. Jumped the start at Nashville from the pole, goes to the back, and then the situation for him at Michigan after he'd won the pole, and now this. Ty Gibbs had the speeding penalty after winning stage 1, going to go a lap down. Here comes Logano.
And we talked about, you know, Denny taking it kind of easy at the start, and now his car is running forward. The 54 on the radio is talking about how he ran too hard and burned the right rear tire off this car, and now he's struggling just to make lap time and going a lap down here. So what I think the drivers are learning in this race early is how hard can they push on the front end of the run. If you're going to get an 80-lap run here or a 100-lap run, you're going to need to really be smart about how hard you run in the first 20 or 30 laps of this run.
You know, it's a mix of strategy and speed, but the 19 car is moving through the field. And as we mentioned the word strategy, now you got to start thinking about stage 2. When do you make that pit stop?
Yeah, 72-lap run right here, 102 laps to go. I imagine most guys are going to want to split it in the middle. What I will say, it takes a lot of time to come to pit road here. You're going to lose about 35 or 40 seconds to the leader, 40, I think, so about a lap and a half, nearly 2 laps. So if you're going to lose nearly 2 laps, you're going to be very careful. It's not a type of track where you could just pit nice and early and gain an advantage, so it might be a little bit of a wait and see, but as more cars slip and slide, the handling may force some cars to pit road as Briscoe continues this march forward. That was a long answer to say about 15 laps, Adam, because you just stared at me like I was looking for a number. You wanted a number, so I'll give it to you.
Well, it helps the viewing audience when you give those numbers, and if I'm being honest, me too. You know, we're talking about the drive to the field for Briscoe. A couple of cars back behind him. Blaney is 6th.
You wanted to answer, Adam, and so didn't the truck, because they want to go to commercial, and I wouldn't let them know when the pit stops were coming.
Let's get that in now.
Okay.
Pit stops coming up. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. The greatest week in history is almost here. Shark Week starts next Sunday, July 26th on Discovery. Starting to see some green flag pit stops. We just talked about it,
Yeah,
Steve.
Bell a little on the early side. We saw some of that brake temp. He's coming in. Oh, the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger made huge contact, broke the right rear suspension. I think that was in the entry to turn 1. He got up high into the fence.
Yeah, he was fighting really, really hard to keep. He was fighting really, really hard to stay on the lead lap on the outside of the 22 here. Let's watch him get down into turn 1.
Oh, man. Bam.
Wow.
And he'd done a really good job to stay right there for several laps. Joey was having a hard time getting by. But you're pushing hard. You're pushing harder than your car wants to go, asking it to do things it doesn't want to do.
William Byron on pit road. It's going to be a real kind of eyedropper of strategy here. A couple cars every lap over the next 25 or 30 laps. I'm even hearing some whispers through the garage today about guys trying to run this entire stage. The fear is that what is the unknown? At lap 125, 130, do these rear tires just give up the ghost completely? Now you've run long and you don't have an advantage. So a lot of different, a lot of different theories to a track that we have very little experience at.
Well, Allmendinger had the problem, was 21st. He goes a lap down. Byron was the last car on the lead lap in 20th when he made that green flag pit stop.
Yeah, so now Byron needs to find his way back around the leader to get one of those laps back. And he's going to do it in a hurry as you see him going by the 19 up the front stretch, right? So the 22, as you see on the upper left, he's on the middle of the back stretch. Byron is about a half a lap behind. That's to be 2 laps down. So he is 2 laps down from a green flag pit stop.
Byron's teammate Chase Elliott making a pit stop.
Adam showed a lot of strength in the middle of that run, got up to second, and at the end of the run, Chase said, I just can't finish the corner. It feels like the right rear is too pumped up. Steve mentioned, Adam, those teams considering running this entire stage out. Among them, Carson Hocevar. They're debating it right now. They're in 6th.
84 laps to go, so if you're going to run the whole thing, you got a long way to go. The 19 of Briscoe, Danielle.
Chase Briscoe is in. He was running 3rd when he came in for this stop. They told him manage the throttle on exit. This Toyota, one of the fastest in the Gibbs camp. Remember, all that track position they made up started 30th tonight. He's down and away.
Just a reminder, once again, the problem is it's about, oh, this is the problem. Big stack up. Looks like cars are maybe trying to come to pit road. The 45 of Reddick, 48 of Bowman involved. Oh, you think about Byron and those cars, Chase Elliott, that were on pit road. This is going to be a huge problem for their night.
Well, you don't want to speculate, but we talked about sight lines, and you got to get where you want to be to manage that run to pit road. And I say sight lines from the spotter stand, so we'll listen to all the radio here.
Right front's flat on the 48 there.
Right side's as quick as we can here, right side.
Bowman's so good here in the All-Star race last spring. Got a couple of wins on his resume when you talk about short tracks at NASCAR's top level.
Inside the top 15, 12th and 13th, and we're going to see the 4 exiting pit lane up on the racetrack, but everything's going 5. Oh, the 48's
trying to get to pit road.
Yes, sir. 48's coming from the top lane across traffic, gets caught by the 45.
Contact right there with the inside wall, but yeah, that was just...
Reddick has to say about that.
Yeah.
Here you go. Top of your screen. Just a 48 just turns across. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
I know the 48's trying to come, but it's your responsibility. You just can't exit from the fast lane, and he's on the top of the racetrack turning left across the 45. Reddick has no idea.
We haven't had green flag pit stops at North Wilkesboro in 30 years, so I don't know that these guys knew exactly what to do. And there's a 7 car of...
Yeah, he was stuck, so he was probably committed. Maybe the pit road was closed. NASCAR's just going to have to see what that is.
His team's telling him to stay out, stay out, stay out. So.
Oh, here we go. Watch this. Listen. We heard earlier about spotter communication. There was concern. We don't know if maybe the noise got him. Oh, this is going to be frustrating if you're a Reddick fan.
I just don't think you can come to the top of the racetrack to enter pit road in turn 3. You'd kind of, the 48, would probably be better served to run low in 1 and 2 with his intention to come to pit road.
It's kind of like wrecking pitting at Talladega from the 3rd lane. If you're going to come to pit road, you run the bottom of 3 and 4, so you're there. Here it's 1 and 2, and I mean, you hate it, but you have to put that on the 48, right? The 45 just did nothing wrong. And it's going to cost, the 48's mistake is going to cost two of his teammates, Byron and Chase Elliott, both 2 laps down because of green flag pit stop.
Yeah, we're showing right now, and all this has got a cycle, right? And it's so hard when you get a caution in the midst of green flag pit stops. But we're showing right now only 12 cars on the lead lap.
Reddick's talking to his team on the radio about the steering being off 1 hour. Think about the steering wheel as a clock, and he knows where that steering wheel needs to be going straight, and he says he's just a little bit off. So there'll be a little toe issue there.
You know, the other thing I would say in regard to Reddick is, you know, Hamlin got all those stage points in stage 1. Reddick comes in 24 behind, so insult to injury.
NASCAR's ruled Suarez between avoiding the accident and everything that was going on. There'll be no penalty on the 7. I think that's probably the right decision. If he hits the orange box, that he's welcome to return to the racetrack anyway. I couldn't tell from that view. Let's hear about the 48, Danielle.
Yeah, Steve. Crew Chief Blake Harris for the 48 said, "Sorry, Alex, that's my fault." Alex responded and said, "No, I thought I had a hole, but maybe I didn't." They're asking how the water pressure is. He said, "I think it's fine." Then Blake said, "Come in, let's pit and work on it." Shannon?
They got to work on short run speed for the 22. Paul Wolf said we're the best car on the long run. No air pressure adjustment for the 22, Marty.
Denny Hamlin on pit road as well. Ryan Blaney comes in 3rd, and you couldn't have had a much better day for the 12 bunch as you see Denny Hamlin leave pit road. For Ryan Blaney, he said, it just loses all rear turn, and I get rear stability. I need rear stability at the end of the run. That's what goes away for me. So 4 tires for the 12 bunch. They got the break with a caution as well.
Right back in the game for Ryan Blaney. We'll reset everything when we come back. Caution is out for the 3rd time tonight here at North Wilkesboro. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Either.
Just had our 3rd caution of the night here at North Wilkesboro. Comes out in the middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops, so everything has gotten shaken up. But Joey Logano continues to lead. Hamlin, Blaney, Van Gisbergen, and Hocevar, the top 5. Let's do a little Where's Mamba?
Well, I'm just up here checking out this Carolina sky with some of my favorite people. I mean, look at these fans. You talk about saving short track racing. You got to show up, and these people are showing up all night long. This place is packed out. Golly, I love it out here, guys.
It's just been an unbelievable weekend. Points on the line at North Wilkesboro for the first time since 1996. So as we get this caution, and we said we were in the midst of stops, free pass goes to Ty Dillon. He's back on the lead lap inside the top 15. Ware and Briscoe take the wave around to the lead lap, so they're just outside. They're right there in the 14th, 15th position, and a number of cars waving to one lap down.
Good break for the 7 of Suarez. The rule is if you're below the orange box, you are committed to pit road. As we spin this forward, you're going to see he's clearly below it, but the 48 sliding to his left, crashing into the wall. NASCAR is ruling that the 7 was avoiding the accident, the spinning 48, therefore it wasn't a penalty. We'll see what the garage thinks about it. The rule was if you go below the orange box, you have to come to pit road. He was, but NASCAR going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the coming 48 cars spinning behind him.
And because they weren't caught in the cycle of stops, they got track position, restarting inside the top 10. Logano, Hamlin out front.
It's been a busy 5 or 7 minutes here between racing, wrecking, and scoring.
Yeah, you got a lot of cars now trying to race on the lead lap. Half the field's a lap down trying to race for the free pass.
I mean, think about Todd Gilliland in-season challenge battle. They were on the right side of it. Brad Keselowski talked about Suarez. All these drivers inside the top 10 for the first time tonight.
You mentioned that free pass. It's a stack of them, right? As we see the 97, 77, and 12 race for position inside the top 5. Gibbs, McDowell, Chastain, Hertz, Custer, Byron, Elliott. Just a whole mess of cars back there. That whole mess right there.
What do you call this, a bar fight, Steve?
Yeah, this is a bar. Well, this bar fight right here is late in the night. This is like a 1:30 bar fight.
That's right.
Gibbs got a pretty good position right here, battling, trying to move forward in some of the lead lap cars.
And only 15 cars on the lead lap. So if you're Gibbs and you get a caution here, you get the free pass, you're just right back in the game.
He just wants to be able to put cars between him and McDowell. McDowell's closing the gap. But he'd love to get around a few more cars and sort of distance himself from McDowell and everyone else trying to get that free pass.
Yeah, I mean, Chastain, the next guy back there, what a night it's been for him. And what about this duo out front? I mean, lost in it all. We got a couple of guys that are best to do it. Logano and Hamlin. This is a good toe-to-toe at a place like North Wilkesboro.
When we talk about the 23 Hall of Famers that have won at North Wilkesboro, I don't think anyone in the crowd today would disagree that
we got a car around. Josh Berry gets tagged. Christopher Bell slid up the racetrack into the door of the 21.
Caution number 4.
Just talking about a car that needed a good run. Slap the left side, slap the left front. You heard the communication on the radio. Watch it again.
So Josh, top of the racetrack, headed down the back straightaway. A little contact here with the 5 and the 20. 3 wide. You got Briscoe on the outside. See Bill down in the middle of the corner, just gets loose right there and corrects up into the side of the 21. And unfortunately, that's a pretty hard hit for Josh into the outside wall.
The left front concerning because it spins around and kind of momentum's in.
Great break for Ty Gibbs, who will get the free pass.
Raced his tail off to get into that position and was there when the caution came out. And for Barry, just on the wrong end of it because they had made the pit stop when they're running inside the top 15. You lose a lap, you're back there running in the middle of the mess.
That's been the season for that 21.
It is.
Yeah, Christopher just got in there a little too deep, lost the back of the car. Good avoidance there by Briscoe to stay out of that.
And all of this won't make a huge difference to the running order. Still a lot of cars trapped 1 lap down. If we had run longer, maybe cars would pit, we'd get a rave around and all that, but I think it's only going to be Ty Gibbs who gets the free pass. Let's listen in to the 20 of Bell about the incident.
I don't know. I think it's fine. It's free. It's loose. I'm on edge of rear grip right now. I don't know what else to tell you. Brakes are traveling to the floor.
All right, brakes are traveling to the floor. We showed you that right front rotor overheating, and what happens is when these temperatures get hot, the brake fluid can either boil, or even if it doesn't boil, it just gets super inefficient and the pedal gets really long. That can absolutely hurt the handling, Marty.
Yeah, the brake issues plus the handling issues for Christopher Bell, and the 21 kind of paid him a visit after that incident, and he said, hey, I get it. Tell him I'm sorry. Tell a spotter I am sorry. Bell a lap down, will pit next time, but his teammate Chase Briscoe pitting right here.
Well, they had taken the wave around to get back onto the lead lap, so they were in a good spot to be able to do that in that last cycle. Now you come down and get some tires, see if you can make a run, as we're going to have, right around 60 laps to go in stage 2.
Well, we got a split field battle. We have Logano, Hamlin, SVG, Blaney, Hocevar at the front. But then we have McDowell, Chastain, Herbst, Byron, Elliott. Byron and Elliott, two very good cars that are trapped a lap down. So they're going to have to keep battling and hope to get that free pass.
The race for the lead, the race for the free pass. A whole lot to watch when we return to North Wilkesboro. Going to be right around 60 laps to go, stage 2, when we continue at North Wilkesboro. It's NASCAR on TNT, presented by Liberty Mutual. What do you have for us, Danielle?
Josh Berry, involved in that incident with Christopher Bell just before the commercial break, said, guys, it's definitely broke. They said, take it to the garage. We're going to fix the left front corner. I've never heard Josh say potty words that I cannot repeat live on television. Adam, on the radio, he is not happy. I don't think that anger is directed at Bell specifically, because he had to ask who was under him. They radioed back and said it was the 20. I think there was just frustration about the incident, and you guys said it. The 21 has had a really difficult year. He's a short track guy, raced all around this part of the country, had a fast car, felt they could do something tonight, and now you see where they are with 245 laps to go.
Well, he has every right to be upset at Bell, and I'm sure, Bell feels bad, right? He got loose underneath him and he wrecked the 21. It wasn't on purpose, but the result is the 21's in here repairing the left front suspension.
Front row for the restart. Logano, Hamlin. Logano, the control car. Row 2, Shane Van Gisbergen and Ryan Blaney. Here we go again. Shane Van Gisbergen working the outside lane. Racing there with Hamlin.
That 97's got good short run speed. He was on a little bit of a tire deficit to the 22 earlier in the race. Denny right to the back bumper, beating on the back bumper. The 97 is going to let the 77 of Hocevar go around. Another car with some good short run speed here, Steve.
He does. He has good fire off speed. Here comes the 12 of Blaney. His kind of a ascension to the front continues. Started all the way in the back after being the pole sitter from the metric. Here he is inside the top 5. Right behind him, the Brad Keselowski in the 6, Bubba Wallace in the 23. And how about Todd Gilliland? Continues to move up. He's now 8th. That puts him in front. But Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase is a lap down in 21st, Steve.
Yeah, running 2nd, 3rd earlier in the race. Chase Elliott's got a long way to go to get that car back up toward the front.
Hey, the other side of that, though, Brad Keselowski, we talk about him. He was outside the top 15 when that green flag cycle began. But because you run it long, you stay on the lead lap. Here they are, very much a part of the game.
What do you do with the good breaks? I think of Daniel Suarez in that 7, right? Fortunate break, did not receive a penalty. Now he's inside the top 10. Stenhouse in 10th. Just, you go home from some of these races and you talk about what could have been or should have been as the 23 runs the 6 up the track a little bit. But now you've gotten a good break. Something has fallen your way. What do you make of that with still a lot of racing ahead?
The other thing I'm curious to watch here as we go toward the end of the stage, just over 50 to go, is what kind of ground can Chase Briscoe and Ty Gibbs make up? Because they didn't have any track position. They made a pit stop here just over lap 200 at that last caution. So do those tires benefit them at all as we continue to run toward the end of the stage? There's that 19 right there.
That 19 of Briscoe looks good. He kind of got checked up behind the 47, turned underneath them.
Tyler Reddick at the very back of the field still struggling. Shannon, what you got?
Yeah, what a tough points day it's going to be for Tyler Reddick. Came into this 2nd behind Denny Hamlin. You guys saw that spin. He did come down pit road a couple of times. The team has told him that that tie rod is bent. They cannot do anything about it. They are going to monitor that steering angle for the 45, but this is going to be a tough hit in the points for him.
I mean, he's showing 66 back right now, and he's only 8 in front of Ryan Blaney in 3rd. It's just been such a terrible summer luck-wise for that race team.
That's every driver's fear. If your luck goes that way in the chase, right? What chase will you have? The start of the 45 season or the summer for the 45?
It's amazing what Blaney has done, right?
Yeah, it's great. But you heard Christopher Bell. We're on board right here with the Toyota Racing on board. He talked to us in the pre-race about how the ascension for Hamlin and the ascension for Blaney has given the rest of the field kind of hope on you maybe don't have to be in the top 3 or top 5 to win the championship because they have seen movement in the points from guys that were able to win races.
Got to give some love to Cody Ware. They were on the right side of the strategy, and he's up there inside the top 15. Great for that race team.
Yeah, doing a nice job taking that opportunity.
First 2 cars in the lap down category, Michael McDowell, Riley Herbst, William Byron right there as well. So those are the ones we'll be watching. So we head toward the end of the stage, and we'll award that next free pass. Of course, caution comes out before then. We'll give it out. Chase Elliott in that group. Just a dogfight to try to get in that position and then maybe get your lap back.
Yeah.
71 of McDowell currently has that free pass position up the road a little bit.
Yep, he's got a couple cars between him and the 35, the red car just behind a few cars back. That's Herbst. And then you have the 24 and the 9 of Byron and Elliott trying to close in. It'll be interesting to watch and see if they can do that. Here's the 9 of Chase Elliott to the inside of 42.
Yeah, I mean, you see it, that dark blue car at the end of the straightaway right there. That's where he's trying to get to.
There are 4 cars that got stage points in stage 1 that are now a lap down because of the way the cycle went for them. And it just really highlights the challenges in calling strategy at a place like this.
Well, that's the fear when you go to a racetrack where after your pit stop, you go 2 laps down. Most racetracks, you go 1, You get caught, you take the wave around, no harm, no foul, you kind of lose your track position, you keep racing. Here at North Wilkesboro, when you lose 2 laps, the penalty of being caught is much bigger. Kyle Larson, this 5 car just hasn't been the same since the contact on pit road. Kind of working his way back up, currently 22nd in the running order.
It's the HendrickCars.com onboard camera.
He was my pick in the pre-race. I thought this 5 looked really good in practice.
I thought he was the second best car to Bell, and both him and Bell struggling tonight with just issues with their car, contact on pit road that you mentioned, and Christopher Bell with the brake issues, and no balance, no rear grip for that 20 car. And they struggle back here in the pack.
He's had problems. We talk about the contact on pit road. Bowman involved in the crash. All 4 Hendrick cars at least 1 lap down right now. In fact, they're all in the 1 lap down category after they were so great here in the All-Star race last year. There's Keselowski, 7th right now, Danielle.
Man, he's been having a really fun battle with Bubba Wallace the last few laps, battling 7th position. That's where Brad is running right now. And his crew chief, Jeremy Bullins, hasn't done it with 2 tire stops. The last 3 stops, Brad Keselowski's taken 4 tires every time. They told him a few laps ago when he was running 14th, Steve, at this pace, we're going to run to the end of the stage. Now that he's running inside the top 10, do you fear he's using more fuel, or do you think Brad can stretch it and not pit until the end of stage 2?
Yeah, I think all of these cars are going to run to the end of stage 2. The real question is, what are you going to do in stage 3? We didn't really get to see that because the caution came out in the middle of the pit stop cycle, but I do think these cars that have been caught by that caution will definitely take away the aggressiveness of people that were going to come to pit road early.
You know, I look up in the top 5, and there's Shane Van Gisbergen, you know, riding 3rd, looking for 2nd. He's ran every lap inside the top 10 tonight. The only driver to do that. And the other part of this, all the stage points he collected in stage 1, in position to do it again here in stage 2, came in plus 30, now at plus 48 in 14th. Really good night for that group.
Briscoe gets around Keselowski. Up there for 7th. Second place battle still raging on. One thing I see about Denny Hamlin, though, is we talked about it earlier. He doesn't really push the car hard at the start of the run. Allows a couple cars to go by. He doesn't really run the car too hard. He doesn't accelerate too hard off the corner. And as we get into the run, we hear a lot of drivers talking about the rear grip going away. It's heat related. It's not really wear. It's heat. And so if you abuse the tire, it quits. It doesn't want to adhere to the track as well. So Denny's really, really smart about just driving the car smooth and straight, keeping the tips down in the tire, keeping the car working. And here he is, working himself around the 97 car comfortably.
Hamlin looking outside of SVG here. This is the race for 3rd. And as he completes the pass, I take us back before we went green tonight. And I said, what are you guys watching in this race? A little follow-up to those stories here.
Yeah, the fatigue, I think it's real. We're hearing some drivers that are really struggling with the temperature, the fatigue, both mental and physical. And Dale, you and I already talked about our 2 picks, Bell and Larson. We don't really know what kind of cars they had. One has mechanical issues with the 20, and the 5 has a contact on pit road.
Let's get an update. Cole Custer, what's happening there, Shannon?
Yeah, not good inside that race car for Cole Custer. That cool suit failed many, many laps ago. He had to purge the water out of it. So when he comes down pit road, they are spraying him with the water bottle. He said, just don't get my visor. They're also handing him some extra water bottles. They've been checking in on him, asking him how he's doing. He says, I'm doing good. It's just really hot in here, Danielle.
Shannon, Zane Smith is complaining of the same issue. Take a listen to Zane's radio.
Dude, there's nothing we can do about it now, but this is the hottest I've ever been in a car. I'm over my cooling.
Grab me a drink.
Zane's scorching inside that race car. I've checked with the team twice. They are not sure that his cool shirt failed necessarily. He just said the inside of the car is actually hotter than he's ever had.
We had a lot
tough night to have that.
Well, it's a tough weekend. We've seen this with the cars tour. A lot of, even our winner, Caden Honeycutt, was smoked after just the first pro late model race and then had to go and run the late model stock, won on both. And even in the race, in the truck race during the middle of the day, drivers talked about how uncomfortable the trucks were. Even though we're at night here, 70-some degrees in the middle of the night here, the humidity is really, really high. And it feels like it's probably 90, 95 degrees inside those cars. It's probably more realistically about 135, 140 degrees inside the car. And the humidity is just really, really difficult.
Going to be 25 laps to go, stage 2. Logano leads Hamlin, Hocevar, Van Gisbergen, and Blaney. The run to the green and white checkered flag, second stint of the race, next on TNT. The anticipation was high, and the activity on track here at North Wilkesboro has not disappointed. It's the Window World 450 on TNT. 17 laps to go, stage 2. And Joey Logano continues to lead this thing. Over 140 laps out front tonight for driver 22, and he's coming up on some pretty good ones here.
Yeah, we've seen him do this in the All-Star races as well. He's led more laps than anybody coming into this race at this racetrack. So I thought he was going to be pretty solid. I was thinking maybe a top 10 or even a top 5 would be good for Joey tonight, but now that they've given him control of this race, he just continues to drive away from the field. Every time we have a restart, he comfortably drives away. Nobody can even get within the same straightaway with this 22 car.
It is impressive. I mean, from the year that they've had, this is jumping on the scene in a big way.
Putting Chastain, I say he's coming up on some good ones. He's actually putting Chastain 2 laps down here as he drives below the 1. You know, we talk about what Logano's doing here tonight, but then I look at the upcoming schedule. The door is open for them to get on a real run to end the regular season. Let's go down to Danielle. Excuse me, Shannon, what's up?
Hey, Adam, that is exactly what Joey Logano told me back in Sonoma. He said, we have been struggling this season, but the next couple racetracks are really an opportunity for us to see where we are. He told me today we need to average about 30 points per race. He knew that this was going to be an opportunity for him to go out. Right now for the 22, it is all about surviving those first couple laps of a run. He says he's really struggling on those short runs, but once he gets past those, the car comes alive and he can move all over the track.
Last couple of laps, you know, just watching times, Denny's equal to Joey. We know that Denny hasn't really showed us everything the car's capable of doing in the first handful of laps on a restart. but at least at this point in the run, I think the 11 car might be able to match the 22. There's a few others as well on the board that are really quick. Briscoe back and forth, fastest lap on the racetrack the last time by. Also Brad Keselowski clicking off some really good laps. And Ty Gibbs back there in the 54 was probably the best car when this race started. If he can get himself back into the top 5, top 3, I think he'll have something to say about the finish of this race.
10 to go stage 2. Briscoe on those fresher tires continues to dig in. Right by the 77, put the 19 in third.
Yeah, Briscoe's showing some pretty good speed here over the course of the run.
And you mentioned fresher tires, only 7 laps. They are fresher to your point, Adam, but you wouldn't think that would be as big of an advantage. We'll just have to wait to see where the 19 stacks up when they all reset. Bell going down that second lap.
Logano been so impressive tonight, leading over 150. And he's led more laps in this race than he has since 2022 in the season finale at Phoenix. It really highlights just how good they've been. Riding a 45 race winless streak. And he's 7 laps away from victory in stage 2.
Reddick in front of him is already 1 lap down, so this will be a second lap down for Reddick.
Look at this. I mean, there's 9 drivers that won last year that have not won this year. You see top 10 and where they rank in wins in 2026. In fact, you know, you talk about Joey Logano in that 45 race winless streak. Denny Hamlin, who's running second, has won 8 times since Joey's last victory. And late in the stage, SVG trying to get one back.
Well, that's what really impresses me. We're 54 laps into this run. This isn't just a track position play for the 97. This is a car that is deserving of running up here and a driver who's doing a really nice job.
Four to go in the stage, Marty.
What an impressive night for SVG, to Steve's point, getting that 4th spot from Carson Hocevar. And I think when you looked at the standings, Dale, everyone thought when it came down to the chase, could SVG hang on to a spot in the chase? They looked at these tracks like North Wilkesboro and said, I don't think he can make it in, but he is making a statement tonight. Needs to finish off this stage, but who had SVG getting stage points in stage 1 and stage 2 at North Wilkesboro got a good chance to make it happen.
Yeah, and not just 2 or 3, he's going to put up more than 15.
Bubba Wallace to the outside of the 97 car down in turn 3 and 4. Bubba's showing some good speed here late in this stage. A couple of laps to go, and he's going to be able to take the spot away. Lap traffic just ahead could play a role.
Had that penalty on the final lap last week at Atlanta, so they didn't have a great starting position. But Bubba has been able to drive through the field. Final lap of the stage. And we pick up Logano down the back straightaway. And the gaggle in front of him.
And Byron's another one of those cars that's already 1 lap down. Him and Chase Elliott. A second lap is just such a tall task. They're up to figure it out and stay just in front of Logano.
First stage victory of 2026 for Joey Logano. Hamlin gets good stage points. Same for Briscoe. Wallace was 4th. SVG hangs on for a spot inside the top 5. NASCAR Cup Series racing on TNT is brought to you by Credit One Bank for what's ahead, and by Straight Talk Wireless, an official partner of NASCAR, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Stage 2 is complete. It's been the Joey Logano show here at North Wilkesboro. Dominating performance in Stage 2, gets the victory there. And he's got that coveted track position. Only 15 cars on the lead lap. Ty Dillon gets the free pass here. And look at the advantage coming to the pit lane. All those cars in between Logano and Hamlin. Let's go to Danielle.
Just behind Logano and Hamlin, Adam, is Chase Briscoe. He finished third in that second stage. Crew Chief James Small said, really good job, man. Love the lap times. I think you had a small tire advantage there. Remember to be smooth through 3 and 4 in this next run, Shannon.
Rear grip good for the 22, needs a little more turn in. Meanwhile, as the 11 is trying to hunt that car down, edgy until the track rubber's up and then tight, Marty.
15 stage points in the bank for Shane Van Gisbergen. Handling-wise, he said it just burned the right rear off way too early. Health-wise inside the car, SVG asked for 2 bottles of water and a little bit of sugar as well. Said he's cramping inside the car, Adam.
Logano easily holds serve coming off the pit lane. Hamlin, Briscoe, Wallace, Hocevar behind him. Final stage coming up.
Joey Logano dominating the Window World 450. Adam mentioned it. The most laps led tonight since the 2022 season finale at Phoenix. A day he won the race and the championship. This has been a fantastic race. Major points implications, though, on that lap 184 collision between Alex Bowman and Tyler Reddick. What did you see here, Jamie?
They're all fighting for the same real estate. They're off the corners. The car was marching up on the track, and around they go.
Yeah, big points implications. You said, though, with Reddick, he looked like he had the season championship or the regular season championship won not that long ago. And you look at the points now, Blaney within 21 points have been able to catch him for the second place in the regular season standing. So tough night for the 45 team.
And as they run, Tyler Reddick lost 38 points to Denny Hamlin in that exchange. It's going to be fascinating to see how this one wraps up. Adam, back to you guys.
No, it's going to be really good. Entertaining final stage coming. Let's do a little Where's Mamba.
Oh, I think our man is working.
Oh, he is.
Look at this.
He is working. Yeah, there you go. 77, Mama. That's right. He's 5th. Good job. Good job. Hey, but on this restart, I want it to change every corner. Let's get on our game down there.
Live timing and scoring, courtesy of Mamba Smith. Front row, Logano Hamlin. Final stage underway at North Wilkesboro.
Denny to the inside here. Let's see if he can try to fight this 22. Nobody's really been able to do much with Logano. Joey gets him a little bit tight right there down into turn 3 and 4. Trying to stay on that left rear quarter panel. Joey gets to the inside. He's like, I don't like it. I want to be down here.
Now Hamlin says, I'll go outside. Dogfight for 3rd. Briscoe, Bubba going at it.
And Denny's running pretty hard here, trying to see what his car is capable of.
I think he's just concerned. The 22 controlled that last run and drove away from the field.
Yep.
Denny's probably trying to figure something out. Maybe he could push him early, get him to burn his stuff up.
Bubba goes up the racetrack. Cost Briscoe. 23 up to 3rd. Opens the door for SVG. Brad Keselowski hanging in once he established that track position.
You know, Joey Logano should be getting his flowers for as good as he's running tonight, but I think the Blue Oval deserves a little bit of a hat tip as well. This is an organization and a manufacturer that seems to be a little bit behind, but they have Logano running so well up there leading, but you also have Keselowski, Blaney, Gilliland, then, you know, some different players inside the top 10.
4 in the top 10, 5 in the top 12 from the Ford organization, who's coming off their 750th win all time last Sunday night.
Gilliland, I don't know if this is the front row trucks dominated yesterday, ran 1-2. Setup should be nothing alike. I'd like to know if there's some other sort of magic they unlock. This is the best we've seen that car run in a while.
They sprinkled the dust.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chandler, Smith, Lane, Riggs going 1-2 here yesterday in truck competition. Don't look now. Ty Gibbs back inside the top 10.
Yeah, pretty good battle, and another one just in front of him. Keselowski in the 12, little contact. Blaney gets in the back of the 6, down in the middle of 1 and 2.
What about that 54, Marty?
Yeah, we haven't really heard from him, Adam, have we, after that penalty at the end of stage 1 for speeding on pit road, but has slowly made his way through the field. And Dale, I think Ty learned a lesson early in stage 2. He told his team almost immediately into that run, I pushed too hard. I burned the rears off. That's something that Tyler Allen has really been on Ty about. You have to take it easy early in the run to give yourself some tire life at the end of the run. That shows up more than anywhere at short tracks like North Wilkesboro.
Well, and they had it pay off for them late at Bristol when he was able to get his first career victory. And a lot of maturity being shown here tonight as he's been able to hang around. Strategy game working out for him, and he's got a chance here.
On board with Ryan Blaney, the HBO Max camera, and he is ripping the top and making some moves.
And he was running in the back bumper of the 6 car for the last couple of corners. He decided to go to the top of the racetrack to make that pass happen. I think he's a little frustrated still with Brad after how the last stage ended. A mad Blaney is a good one, though. He's fast. He's already pretty fast. You get him mad, he's really, really good. Now he's trying to get to the outside of the 77 car. He's just really hustling this car up the top of the racetrack. Turn it down, get a great run, getting the throttle early and get a great run down the straightaway. Besides, now he's going to wrap the bottom here and see if he can close the gap. Look at that, through the middle of the corner, a little bit better than the 77. Oh, the 77 up on the apron there. That's going to open up the bottom for the 12. 12 right across the little patch there at the end of the pit road, and now he's to the inside. Hocevar could really be a pain if he wanted to right here, but Blaney's going to clear pretty easily. Oh, no.
Okay, now, is he being a pain
by.
now?
Yeah, I mean, he could. He can absolutely make this an impossible pass. Blaney's going to look in the mirror just a little bit as he's driving up off the corner. See his eyes if he glances down a little bit. Hear him in the throttle, sliding the car, spinning the rear tires.
I heard the spin and the slip, and he is being frustrated about that.
He's going to cook them rear tires, and now he's going to not only cook the rear tires, but probably give the spot back up unless he can put a couple of good corners together.
And reach down, change the brake bias that time.
Got it there. Hocevar's going to try to cross him over. I don't think that's going to be beneficial to the 77.
All clear finally. Blaney gets the spot.
Yeah,
up to
good little
6.
hustle. Right behind him, the 54 of Ty Gibbs trying to, you can see him bottom of the screen there. He's trying to climb through the field. He had that speed penalty on pit road after being the dominant car in the first stage. I've been waiting on him to try to climb through the pack. I haven't seen anybody that can run with Logano, although Denny's been able to stay within a second. I'd love to see this 54 car get up there and just see if he can run with the 22.
You know, it's ironic. The 12 and 54 were supposed to share the front row at the start of the night. Blaney goes to the back, doesn't get to start from the pole. Gibbs, Dale mentioned it, so dominant in that opening stage, but then has the speeding penalty and has to come from the back. And both now in the top 10, 3 wide lookout. Cindric, Dillon, Stenhouse.
Cindric in that Rusty Wallace throwback there, that black and gold number 2.
15 cars on the lead lap. Larson in the free pass position right now. He's 16th.
Yeah, that 5 had that big contact with the 88 on pit road earlier. I think they must have made adjustments to the 5 car because it wasn't really moving forward. I still don't think it is what it once was at the start of the race, but here he is. You mentioned it, free pass position 16th.
I'm looking forward to watching him race next Sunday afternoon in Indianapolis. Brickyard 400 live on TNT. Coverage begins, NASCAR Nation, 1 o'clock Eastern time. And there you see the box score for driver 5 tonight.
They're all over this racetrack. We knew it would widen out. Now it's kind of become a little bit more top dominant in 1 and 2, mixed results in 3 and 4.
What about number 5, Danielle?
Kyle Larson said, I was feeling better about the car at the end of the run before those last pit stops, but then the handling started to die off. Cliff Daniels brought him in for that pit stop, 4 tires, fuel, a chassis, and adjustment.
Good battle right here as the 77 of Hocevar continues to struggle. Talk about how good he was on the front end of the run, but it doesn't look like that car is as good as it was earlier in the race. See him drive way up the racetrack there. He enters low and kind of slides up the track. Brad's trying to put some corners together, and the 54 of Gibbs is sitting there ready to take action to whatever happens here. Hocevar's kind of holding these guys up, at least for now. Ty Gibbs is going to get to the outside possibly here on the 6 car of Keselowski.
.150 laps to go, and we check out our Xfinity fastest lap. Ty Gibbs is on the board, right behind Ross Chastain.
And Ty right to the outside here. It's a good little battle. Hocevar struggling. That 54 is right in that left rear quarter panel, making that 77 lose grip. It's going to allow the 6 to slip by. Possibly Ty Gibbs as well.
Boy, the way they fanned out in the corner just really illustrates how wide this place can be. The options drivers have.
Ty Gibbs just can't get it done. He's got 6s on the bottom of the racetrack, kind of taking that bottom line away, but he's able to do it right there. See some contact with Brad here. Not much side draft on the short tracks. It's just good hard racing there. So that's another spot for Ty Gibbs trying to move forward. Brad Keselowski's having a great night tonight in his 6. I don't see Brad have nights like this too often. Grew up racing the short tracks.
Yeah, and you think about the summer for them, Dale. I mean, they were in a great spot. Started the year in a good way, 9th in the standings. You know, we get toward the end of May, and it just went away for them. And they've fallen from 9th to 19th entering tonight. When you look at the Chase standings, they're not out of it. They could still qualify for postseason play, but the reality is they have got to get things turned in the right direction.
I had mentioned the 5 of Kyle Larson improving their race car, still in the free pass position, but he's passing lead lap car 7 of Daniel Suarez, who's 10th. I only bring that up because that means that Kyle Larson has passed 5 cars that are currently on the lead lap. Big improvements for this 5 car. It needs a yellow, obviously, to get that lap back, but you just never know. With only 15 cars in the lead lap, you can get your lap back with 100 to go and still make something very impressive of the evening.
That's what I was going to say. Because there are so few on the lead lap, it introduces a major opportunity if you can find your way there via a caution.
His problem is Joey Logano's out there picking him up and putting him down. Ty Dillon's only about 3 seconds up the road, and he'll lap another car. That 22 car, this is like the Joey Logano we expect, not the Joey Logano we have seen this year. Very impressive.
2 years ago, he won the All-Star race, led 199 at 200, was second last year, led 139, and he's led 201 tonight. Joey Logano in charge at North Wilkesboro, live on TNT. Back at North Wilkesboro, we do our Wendy's race recap. 5 cautions tonight, 43 laps under yellow, 12 lead changes. Ty Gibbs wins that opening stage, gets the speeding penalty. He's rebounded inside the top 10. And Joey Logano has been dominant, winning stage 2, first stage victory of the campaign. He's led 209 of 315 tonight. And SVG, since we're talking Wendy's, is inside the top 5. He's been awesome as well.
I will say, though, as dominant as Joey Logano has been, this run looks a little different. Denny Hamlin has kept him right around 1 second. This is the closest we've seen a second-place car to Logano in quite some time.
And the next car that Joey is going to lap is the car that is the last car on the lead lap, Ty Dillon, and he's not going to go by easy. So there's a lot of traffic right here in front of this 22. It's an opportunity for Denny. Denny sees that. He's going to start to push a little hard if he has anything in that car. 22 radio right here.
My car's tightened up for some reason. Got some weird brake stuff going on here. The brake pedal's sticking.
The brake pedal's sticking, so some weird brake pedal stuff going on there to keep on top of that. But the 10 of Ty Dillon has ran hard all night to try to stay on the lead lap, make something out of his night, and he's just not going to lay over for the leaders here unless something like this happens where the 88's creating a little bit of dirty air. But look at the 10. He's going to get this big run. He's going to fight on the outside.
I don't want to be the bad news guy.
He's going to gas it up right here, try to run back to the outside, not going to be able to do it.
But you're going to be?
Logano gets by, but you know, you think about all the laps he's led tonight, and then I go to the other short track races that we've had this year, Bristol and Martinsville. Denny Hamlin dominated, didn't win, leading almost 300 laps. Kyle Larson dominates, Bristol doesn't win. Blaney led almost 200 at Bristol, unable to get to victory lane. So leading a bunch of laps has not been the path to victory lane so far this year when you talk about the short tracks.
Yeah, if you're a Joey Logano fan, that's Adam Alexander, ADAM.
Well, actually,
you can find him on social media.
It works both ways, because if I say he's unbelievable and then he has a problem, that's my fault too.
Yeah, yep, you're 9 weeks, but you're getting right on live where you and I are.
Joey fans, I'm falling on the sword, you know? Let's get an update on his teammate, Austin Cindric, 17th, 1 lap down, Shannon.
That's right. We got to get a little love to that paint scheme, that famous midnight look that Rusty Wallace made so famous. I want to tell you guys about Dave Maneri right there. He has been with Team Penske since 1975. Went over the wall for Rusty Wallace back in the 90s when he drove that paint scheme. He actually grew up with Rusty in St. Louis and was part of the very last race here at North Wilkesboro. He told me that when Rusty came to take a look at that awesome paint scheme, he gave Austin Cindric some pointers on how to get around this racetrack. Not a bad mentor right there.
That's a cool story and an awesome paint scheme as Team Penske continues that tribute to their 60th season.
Getting to that point, 50 lap, green flag run, 125 laps to go. Remember what happened in the stage before? We saw drivers come to pit road early. They got caught by yellows. They went a couple laps down. So we expect most of these teams, we think, are going to make a pit stop. There was conversation about running the entire second stage long. They just didn't get the chance to do it. So probably 25 laps away from that decision, 30 laps away from that decision.
I go back to Ty Dillon losing a lap. I saw Logano go by him after the 10 fought him for a couple of laps, but you know, the negative impact that has on Kyle Larson, who obviously falls out of a free pass position and going to need a lot of help as we go down the stretch to try to get back in the game.
Well, think of the update of some of those drivers. We heard Danielle mention earlier about Zane Smith overheating. Car's the warmest he's seen it. We've seen other drivers talking about it. Marty reported that SVG was cramping up and asking for extra water. That was 30, 40 minutes ago. We've been under green now for 53 laps, have over 120 to go. This is going to be a battle of attrition, maybe not mechanically, but physically behind the wheel. Who's going to be at their best?
Getting close to the fourth quarter. That's when you got to step it up.
Great little battle right here with Blaney. The 97 of SVG. Bubba Wallace just ahead in the red car as they go through lap traffic.
All three of these guys right at the front last
Blaney
week.
to the outside. Sorry.
Oh, boy, look at that thing dancing on him.
Blaney's been sideways off of turn 4 more than he's been straight.
I love the story that Marty shared down there interviewing Blaney yesterday during practice. He wins the race, gets a Harley out of the deal, goes out to run some laps at Atlanta, and security, like local police officers, come out and say, "What are you doing?" They didn't realize that it was Blaney who's out there giving the trophy a ride.
Got a big run right here. Oh, man, he is pushing it hard around the top of that racetrack, right up against the cushion.
And not really turning down. This is kind of that wider Kevin Harvick, New Hampshire type exit, how they just run that wall on exit.
It's like he decides to do that when it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
When he's got a position on a car, he'll just fire it to the top of the racetrack, and he can do that for 2 or 3 laps before he really ticks off the tire. And then he calms back down. He makes the pass, and then he gets back to a different line and starts to take a little bit of temperature out of the tire and the brakes.
Good reminder, every position a point. Blaney now only 11 back for second in the standings behind Reddick. Hocevar sliding back to 12th, Marty.
His radio, Adam, has been must listen tonight, including gems like we're great on the short run, we're absolute garbage on the long run. And then this one happened just a moment ago.
It's undrivable. Like I'm telling you, like as soon as we get pit, I have to. It's like something's broke or I'm having a flat.
And you can see just how much he's struggling with the handling of the race car. He has fallen outside not only the top 5, now he's 13th for Carson Hocevar. He told Luke Lambert a moment ago, I don't know how we got this bad, but we are just junk right now.
That's so frustrating, too, when you're Luke Lambert on top of the pit box. You believe your driver, but you just can't pit. You're trying to explain to him what he could do. Maybe you're looking at the SMT, trying to coach him along. We know Hocevar, he's fun, he's easygoing, but he's young, right? He's trying to figure out how you get the best out of this younger driver.
Well, about 12 more car lengths, and he's going to be a lap down to Joey Logano in the 22 on the same straightaway as that 77 car.
Blaney 4th.
Blaney flying around the top, taking another spot.
It's Penske and Joe Gibbs Racing up there in those top 4 spots.
There's just nowhere to hide here at this short track. We talk all about how it races, and you get these longer runs right here, and you know, if you're struggling like the 77 is right here, there's not much you can do. You just can't settle in, and Logano is going to be happy. This is a driver he's seen in the top 5 most of the day, but now he is right there out front of the windshield for the 22. He would love to just get the 77 a lap down.
I would say this, though, what's old is new again, and we're reminded of that when we come here. This is the 94th Cup race at this place. You know, the most cars to ever finish on the lead lap here, 13 back in 1992.
The most.
That's the most in 93 races. So what we're doing here tonight is on par with what we've always seen.
But I think that's why when the superstars won here, like your dad, Dale, or Darrell Waltrip, they got out with such admiration because this was a tough battle. They knew it.
12 on the lead lap now with Hocevar watching Logano go by.
Chase Elliott seemed to have so much speed early. I know he got caught by that caution, but he just has not found a way between him and Alan Gustafson to kind of find his to dig out of this hole, and here he is now nearly going down another lap.
Man, that's got to be hard, Dale, as a driver. You know, you can kind of, I'm sure, get lost in it all when you're out there racing, but when you fall a lap down, and in some situations 2 laps down, you got to grind it out. I mean, mentally, that's just got to be very difficult to manage for these guys.
Yeah, it's hard to stay up on top of the wheel and give yourself a chance, but that's all you can do. I mean, he's a champion. He'll keep on punching. Battle right here, the 38, trying to get around these cars. I think he's been to pit road possibly and got better tires, so he's going to drive around. But Brad Keselowski's been able to hold on to this position over Gibbs, even though I think Gibbs is just a little bit better.
I'm surprised Gibbs hasn't got by that 7th and 8th on track. Zane 3 laps down in 27th on those fresher tires that Dale talked about. Closing on 100 laps to go.
One driver that I think is finding a little bit more pace in and out of cleaner air is the 3rd place runner of Chase Briscoe. Logano still 1.7 seconds over Hamlin. Briscoe, though, between maybe the track coming to him a little bit as you see him get to the back of Carson Hocevar, but also once cars go lap down, like Hocevar is here, he's not going to fight the 19 as much. What is he going to do at this point? So he's going to let the 19 go by on the outside, and Chase is doing a nice job of using this to close in on the back of the 11.
Saw this the run before where the 19 had a little bit more speed than everybody else toward the end of the run.
Been a good few weeks for that race team. I know last week didn't go the way that Chase Briscoe would have hoped, but second at Sonoma, gets the win at Chicago, his first of the campaign. Next weekend, going home, racing at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's from Mitchell, Indiana, talking Chase Briscoe. Joey Logano leading as we hit 100 remaining here in Wilkes County. NASCAR on TNT, back live at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Our coverage on this Sunday night presented by Liberty Mutual. And it's time now for our Kalshi market odds. Kalshi traders are currently forecasting Joey Logano is the guy to win this race, but only at 54%. What do you guys make of those numbers there?
I'm pretty surprised by that. I mean, nobody's really been able to match Joey. Denny has been able to keep it close, but as we've gotten to some really bad traffic here for the 22, it's not allowed Denny's just not taking advantage of it. He's not able to. I don't think his car can do everything that the 22's car can do. And so it's going to be tough, I believe, something's going to have to happen. An untimely yellow, a better, some stops, some positions lost on pit road for the 22. Something's going to have to happen that he loses control of the race. I don't believe it happens on the racetrack.
Well, I will tell you that we're probably 7 or 8 laps away from the green flag cycle opening, and that could be the something you're looking for. And the question is, what team will perform the best when needed, right? We look at the rankings for the 22 of Joey Logano. His pit crew is a top 3 pit crew. I know he's probably been overshadowed because he hasn't had the speed. Well, here you have it. The 11 of Denny Hamlin, second place, jumps to pit road first, try to use those fresh tires. We'll see if the 22 counters. The 11 slowly making his way around in front of Shannon Spake. Left side of the screen, the 22 of Joe Logano also committing to pit road. Shannon, the 11 in front of you.
That's right. As soon as they told him that Denny Hamlin was coming down, the call was for the 22 to come down as well. Denny Hamlin has been losing grip over this run, so they'll work on that. As far as Joey Logano, you guys heard him saying that he was getting tight. They're going to work on that 22 car because he has been the fastest on the long run and over the race throughout this entire evening.
All right, they're a lap apart on the right hand. Denny Hamlin leaving under speed. The left hand 22 of Joey Logano slowly has to continue his way down pit road. Denny Hamlin now into 3 and 4. Joey Logano still about a third of pit road to go. We will see who is most successful. Hamlin will hammer down into turn 1. He will see Joey Logano on the left side of the screen. It's going to be a pretty close blend, but I think Joey Logano might keep it, or will it be momentum for Hamlin?
Lap car is there with Chastain. Logano gets back on the gas, pulls up in front of the 11.
Now Hamlin, though, has a half a lap going. He'll try to run the 22 down as pit stops continue. Marty Blaney on pit road.
Much better pace for Ryan Blaney on this run. In fact, for the first time tonight, kind of swung too tight for Ryan Blaney. Pitting here, we'll see where he cycles out, running in the top 5 pretty much that entire run.
Yeah, he was 5th, so we'll see if he can jump either Briscoe or Wallace, who were 3rd and 4th prior. Oh, and we got a penalty on Ryan Blaney speeding on the pit lane. And look at this, Hamlin going after Logano. And once it cycles, this could very well be the battle for the win.
2 things. A, once it cycles is a very important note because Briscoe can go a long ways on fuel. Maybe Briscoe says, this is the gamble. I'm going to run very long. Maybe Wallace, SVG, Brad K will do something. Briscoe, no. He comes to pit road. He's not willing to gamble as the battle continues. The 19 on pit road, Danielle.
Yeah, earlier in this run, James Small told Chase, I think there's some cars that are going to make it to the end, but we are going to pit this time. Let's see how many tires. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for Chase Briscoe. Came into the pits with the lead, Marty.
Danielle, arguably the oval race of the year for Shane Van Gisbergen. Stage points in stage 1 and stage 2. At the end of that run, he said, I feel like I'm cratering. I'm way too free on entry. And Steven, his crew chief, said, hey, everybody else is cratering. Their lap time's falling off at the end of the run as well. But SVG so strong tonight trying to finish off what's been a top 10 effort all night long.
And you saw Blaney right there leaving pit road, serving his penalty. That is a huge penalty for the 12. Shannon, the 34 on pit road.
Yeah, remember Todd Gilliland, part of the in-season challenge. Guys, he is very happy with his car right now. Said this is the best I've been, just building a little tight for that 34.
Now just nerve-wracking while everyone waits to see the 23 of Wallace, Keselowski, Gibbs, Suarez, Jones. How long will they stay on the racetrack? See the 12. This is the 12 coming to pit road, and
he cooked it in there pretty good.
Okay, I was going to ask where he was speeding, but I have a pretty good idea.
Hey, let me tell you this, though. Think about the impact. We've been selling the ground that they've made up tonight with the problems that Reddick has had.
Yeah.
Now you do that, and you put yourself, further back. He's almost 30 points behind second now. The other thought, in-season challenge matchup, head-to-head with Bell. Now, Bell, 3 laps down, and Blaney hasn't fallen that far. Still advantage driver 12, but something to think about as we go down the stretch here.
Watching Bubba Wallace on them old tires, just trying to make lap time here. This is the battle here between the 11 and the 22 still. If the cycle completes.
And they're trying to get to Wallace to get back to the lead lap, right? Because right now they're one down. If they can get by Wallace, then they're fine if the yellow comes out. So there's a little bit of urgency in both. Oh, Wallace!
Look at this.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, they split him, get around Wallace, but that was dangerous. So Logano and Hamlin both back on the lead lap.
What a game of leapfrog. The 11 and the 22 are playing through traffic. It's been a lot of fun to watch. These fans have got to be excited. Look at this move. The 23 just off the pace on those old tires. I don't know if he was trying to come to pit road.
No, he had a little bobble right there. You see him kind of, and now he comes to pit road, but he has a little bit of a bobble right here. Oh, right there.
Scheduled green flag pit stop. Bubba Wallace from the lead at lap 373, Shannon.
Adam, after that disappointing weekend last Sunday in Atlanta, it was all about resetting the metric for Bubba Wallace. He is just racing the racetrack right now. That is what he told his guys. Everything else is good.
Top 4 yet to make a pit stop in the cycle and make it the top 3, because Ty Gibbs gives up his spot. He will come down. Gibbs is making a stop at lap 375.
And now it's about the numbers game for Gibbs, as now Logano and Denny Hamlin have gotten back on the lead lap. It's not really a huge advantage to maybe win the race. It's just with only 5 or 6 cars on pit road, if Brad Keselowski or Suarez get a yellow, it would be a huge advantage. Ty Gibbs in front of you, Marty.
Boy, it just looks like they're crawling coming down pit road. Gibbs said once again, I burned off the right rear too early, too free for him on entry, too tight in the middle for Ty Gibbs as well. Running a little bit long here. I think Daniel Suarez is going to pit this lap as well. He's sitting in second, has not pitted for the final time yet.
Denny Hamlin is not allowing the 22 to get away. 24 of Byron making his stop. Much like Chase Elliott, got caught by that yellow earlier and just never really found a way to recover. The 11 closed in within a car length of Joey Logano that time. Unfortunately catches Austin Dillon in a bad spot, Marty.
Yeah, it's been a frustrating evening for the 24 bunch as well as the 9 bunch. Never able to kind of recover once they lost that lap earlier on. Byron saying this run just too free for that 24 group. Trying to find a way to that lead lap, but it has not worked so far.
The strength in the 22 car for me is his ability to turn in the middle of the corner and get up off the bottom of turn 2. Then he can roll in here, close the gap all the way to right here. The 22 turns, and he just looks so much better up off the corner.
Going by Eric Jones, that's for position. Jones yet to make a pit stop.
But with 71 to go, you know, this is going to be another long run, right? Who is able to keep this pace as we see Brad Keselowski now coming to pit road from the lead?
Brad coming in to get his service, Danielle.
Yeah, there was some conversation with crew chief Jeremy Bullins on when to come in, and Jeremy said, Brad, the field's starting to get spread out. Let's pit before there's a yellow. Brad said, okay, pitting this time. Here you see a clean stop. The 6 pitting from the lead down and away.
So it cycled to get Logano and Hamlin back on the lead lap, and now they're going to go back on point, driving around Suarez. Logano officially the race leader, and he's going to bring Denny Hamlin with him. Inside of 70 to go, and these two going to duke it out the rest of the way. This is really good.
Yeah, what a battle. 0.4 of a second is all there is. Probably easily measured by car lengths over time. Call it 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths from the 11 to the 22. I liked how that 22 was turning on exit, but I will say it seems like that 1/3 mark has gone away. The advantage of the 11 rolling into the corner, Dale, looks like it's paying dividends compared to the 22.
It's time to really put down the laps, and we're seeing what this 11 car is capable of. 2 really, really great short track racers in Logano and Denny Hamlin. Marty, what you got?
Yeah, Daniel Suarez in the 7 bunch caught that break earlier, not getting the penalty after everybody wrecked coming to pit road. They were coming, and then Daniel said, hey, if we can make it all the way, let's try it. So they stayed out a few more laps and lost the lead. 2-3 for Suarez here towards the tail end of the race, but it's been a nice top 10 run for them late in the going here at North Wilkesboro.
Little slip off of turn 2 for that 22 car.
Go by Larson. 5 cars being scored on the lead lap. Just remarkable.
Unreal. I mean, I've seen it. I've been here and seen a lot of races, and this is a traditional Wilkesboro that you get. A lot of green flag runs.
Denny Hamlin, though, is continuing to put the pressure on Logano. 5 seconds clear over Briscoe, 15 seconds clear over SVG.
Let's listen into the 22 car spotter for a few laps.
Busy time on the spotter stand for Coleman Presley. And look at Ty Gibbs trying to get back on the lead lap here.
It's a tough spot for the 22, but Denny's just not able to be there to take advantage of it. And I love how Coleman rounded Denny's lap times up.
Hey, how about this, though? Coleman Presley on the spotter stand. His dad, Robert, was racing the last time Cup teams were here in a points-paying event. He finished 33rd. Coleman was 7 at the time.
Coleman probably is going to tell you we spotted that day, too. As much as experience as he has on the roof, Coleman, one of the best up there. Great to listen to.
That's the difference maker right there, is the 22's ability to get through the lap traffic.
How about that race leader, Shannon?
Yeah, you know, I spoke with Coleman Presley earlier today. I asked him about his job at this racetrack and how hard it was, and he kind of downplayed it, you guys, but he has been on the radio this entire race, working his driver through that lap traffic, and most recently, he was telling Joey Logano, remember, the 11 got tight as the last run, I should say, went on, so not only looking ahead, but looking behind. And Dale, how does that help a driver knowing that the car condition of the guy that's hunting you down may change and get worse as that run goes on?
Yeah, I mean, you just listening to Coleman Presley a moment ago, just telling the lap times of the 2 cars. And that's really, really helpful because we don't know how hard the 22's pushing. He may be running a pace that he's trying to save a little bit of tire on the back end. So the spotter's going to give you the lap time of the second place car. You're going to know whether you can push harder or you can give up a little bit of time and save a little tire.
Racing for 4th, Shane Van Gisbergen, Bubba Wallace. Logano closing on 270 out front. Second most laps he's ever led in a Cup race. 3-time champion, 45 race winless streak, and trying to finish the deal here tonight. The advantage 3/4 of a second now over Hamlin.
It's like as soon as they got through the traffic, Hamlin's actually been able to gain a car length or 2 back.
Hey, credit to Blaney. I mean, you know, had the speeding penalty, but he's driving back up toward the top 10. All right, as we head to 50 laps to go, let's do our Credit One Bank Ones to watch. Where are you going, Dale?
Yeah, Denny Hamlin is the guy that I'm paying attention to. Everybody sees the 22 cars got this race under control, but who can go up there and take the win away? Does Denny have anything left with 52 laps to go? Can he outsmart this 22 car, improve his ability to get through lap traffic, and somehow close the gap to put the pressure on?
Well, a lot of focus on the front two, but how about Chase Briscoe in third? He left pit road nearly 6 seconds back. He's driven it down now to under 4 seconds. He's never won at a short track. Maybe he can get Logano and Hamlin to do some beating and banging, make up this last little gap and be there in the next 50 laps.
So if you leave him for me, you know I'm going to take him. I mean, we'd look foolish if someone didn't take Logano, right? Joey's been incredible tonight. 273 laps out front, started just outside the top 10, but he was one of the early movers. He served notice. He came to play good in practice yesterday. We talk about the winless streak, his strength on short tracks, and here he is tonight, picking them up and putting them down and in charge with 49 remaining.
I'm waiting to see now if this 11 of Denny Hamlin is better now that they've moved off the bottom. They've moved off a little bit because of lap traffic, but will that 11 be able to carry that momentum? The 33 on newer tires. He just left pit road. That's who we're on board with right here, Austin Hill.
Denny's had to change something, right? He's had to do something different, right? He says he can't run the 22 down doing what he's been doing over the last several laps. And this 11 car now at the top of the racetrack, he's not been running up there all night long. Is that going to start to produce some lap time?
I love the fact that he has that choice. Some tracks we go to, you just keep running around the white line and hope you can find some adjustments either with your driving style or brake usage. Here you can completely change lanes. Who was it at the beginning of the show? I think it was Chase Elliott who said we're going to have to go and run laps and lines that we don't want to run. But that's what we have left in our arsenal, and that's really what we're seeing out of Denny Hamlin right here. And look at the gaggle in front of Joey Logano. This is when it can happen right here. See a little bit of smoke out of the right rear of the 47. Looks like there's a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, he smacked the wall. You got a toe link bent on that 47.
Yeah.
Sideways around the racetrack.
Coleman Presley's handing out gift cards on the spotter stand now, saying,
yeah,
help me out, get out of my man's way. Shannon?
Yeah, and continuing to tell Joey Logano what happened to the 11 on that last run. He just said this is where the 11 started to slip in that last long run. So let's watch to see if the 11 falls back or continues to move forward.
Man, that's motivation at its best. Here's Coleman Presley, right side of your screen.
Buffer. 41 to his 66. Consistently moving up off of 2.
You know what I love about these two students of the game, and they're great friends, right? I mean, you talk about how good Coleman is. Coleman was Joey's best man, right? I mean, these two are connected at the hip and executing in this race late.
Well, let's talk about it. So you see all the radios plugged in. He's talking, he's working. But look down here on the fence line. The spotters have these plugged in. Basically, they have SMT that we talk about all the time. If they want to see what driver's doing this, he has timing and scoring. That's where he's reading that information. So he's not only clearing traffic, not only communicating to the other spotters around him. You see him continue to look down, check the lap time. Now, Joey can have lap times on his dash, but he doesn't know what Hamlin's doing behind him. So giving him all the information. This role in the last 25 years has changed, I think, as much or more than the pit crews. We talk a lot about where pit crews are, and they should be celebrated. But the man on the roof and what he provides to his driver, his team, and that communication continues to be reinvigorated, recharged, refounded every year.
You know, we talk about Coleman and his dad, Robert, being a driver in the Cup Series for a number of years. Coleman was a racer too, right? I mean, that was the path that he wanted to take. Handful of years ago, he ran a short track race at Hickory, Coleman did. Joey went over and spotted for him, a little role reversal, but it just speaks to the relationship that these two carry.
That whole organization's that way. Paul Wolf, the same on top of the pit box, drove races in his life. I think that helps his communication on what they're talking about and what they're struggling with. And how about this run for the 34 of Todd Gilliland? Up to 8th, battling.
New contract, chance to run for $1 million in the in-season challenge finale next weekend.
Man, if he doesn't wear those custom shoes Mama gave him into Indianapolis.
I'm sure we're not the same size, but if he won't wear them, I will. I mean, I don't have to play that dad card all the time, you know? Blaney able to stay in front of Bell when you look at that other matchup. Could be a couple of Fords going toe-to-toe for for the $1 million next weekend.
And this battle right here, Blaney, and everything you see in front of it is about a quarter of a lap in front of Joey Logano. So over the next 36 laps, Joey Logano is going to have to weave his way through this rush hour traffic. Looks like Interstate 77 here in Charlotte at about 4:30 in the afternoon.
And to put it further in layman's terms, we're talking about 10 minutes of execution here, basically time of day before this race is over. If we don't get a caution, you got to buckle down and stay with it.
You've been watching a lot of World Cup. Are you going to come out with like the plus 2 minutes when we get to the end of regulation?
I'm out on that.
Bubba Wallace, the next car to go a lap down, sitting in 6th place. That 23 car right here, the Coca-Cola 23.
I tell you what, they've had a great night though, Dale.
They have. He's run a really good race. Ty Gibbs just passed him a couple laps before. Run the fastest lap on the racetrack in that number 54. He's going to wonder what could have been if they not had the issue on pit road, speeding penalty early after stage 1. There's Bubba's night right there.
There's going to be some tired drivers here in 32 more laps.
What's going on with Bubba, Shannon?
Well, it was a total missed opportunity last weekend in Atlanta. Of course, he was supposed to have that 2nd place finish. He got penalized for going below the line, and that really set off the metrics for this weekend, where it was not able to qualify because of the rain out. His crew chief told me they had to start all the way back in 26. So today was about resetting that metrics. Remember, going to Indianapolis next weekend, he is the defending winner there. It was important to get on the other side of all of that so they could get a good qualifying order and get out there and potentially get a good put stall.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into a successful weekend, and what he's doing right now will be a good setup for a potential repeat next week. Look at this. Riley Herbst contact, Cole Custer getting sideways, Michael McDowell there in the 71.
Denny back to the bottom of the racetrack the last handful of laps. He's changed his lineup just a little bit due to the traffic.
Nobody more interested in this contact right here on the bottom right of your screen than the 22 car. Beating and banging between those three. You see the yellow and red leader just about 5 car lengths behind. Now on the left side of your screen, 3 wide bottom, the 22 trying to work his way through traffic.
I hope Coleman Presley didn't tell Joey about that, you know, like, don't want to caution here. Yeah.
You could see it. I don't think you have to bring that one out.
Logano able to slide through. Hamlin now behind him.
Normally we'd be talking about a runaway winner when a car is so dominant it leads 296 laps, but Denny Hamlin is not allowing that conversation to happen. Just staying close enough that you can't really just start handing the trophy to Joey Logano.
I mean, look at Logano, though, comes in below that cut line and not just putting himself above tonight, but going to plus 51. And that's if he can finish the race here. Out front of Denny Hamlin, going to be 25 laps to go next time around.
Good little battle right here, developing for 4th place. As Ty Gibbs has closed the gap to the 97 of SVG down the back straightaway. SVG trying to hang on to this position, having an incredible night here.
I talked to SVG earlier, brought up winning the truck race yesterday. He said nothing really translates, obviously, but the one thing he did say, when he made that run up inside the top 5 late, he felt like he did learn something, and when things weren't going their way in practice yesterday, he applied it and felt like it paid some dividends. We've seen it here tonight with all the stage points and a really good opportunity to finish up front as Gibbs gets by for 4th.
Little hip check, and SVG's going to try to drive it down in there and give it back. Couldn't get to him. I got to applaud SVG. He stayed on the bottom of the racetrack all night long. Everyone else has moved all over this track trying to find speed. The 97, he's having to run the middle here for the clean air, but he's ran the bottom of 1 and 2 the entire night. Found speed down there in the truck, found a line he liked, and he's applied it here tonight to run in the top 5.
You know, it's pretty cool, all these drivers wearing the gloves, Dale, that you guys are going to auction off for your foundation.
Yeah, the auction's live right now. You see the gloves here at Chase Elliott's Racing. All the drivers in the field have these gloves. You can go to the Dale Jr. Foundation.org. There's the auction website.
By the way,
Check it out.
Logano's gloves right now, $12.60 on the auction block. Over $1,200 for the man out front, coming to 20 to go.
Every time I think traffic will cost the 22, he just works his way through. It's a really good driving 22 car and experience behind the wheel. The 36-year-old is showing how he's won 37 times, including 3 championships, by just not really making mistakes.
And think about what a win does for confidence, too. I don't care, you know, all elite athletes talk about it. When things aren't going your way, you can slip in that confidence category. And this team has just had a hard time finding themselves above it all this year. But here he is in position with some great tracks coming, and there's only 18 laps remaining now. 18 laps separating him from victory at North Wilkesboro. He's led over 300. Such an impressive performance.
Oh, he's still driving the wheels off of it right there off turn 4, trying to figure out a way to get around this 35. But Riley Herbst slips the right rear right there on the 22. Cost him just a little bit of time. Riley knows what's at stake here. He's going to try to make this pass as hard as he can. Okay, drive across the nose of the 22 car, taking the line away. Denny better hurry up and take advantage of this if he wants a shot at this 22 car. Riley won't be able to keep this up. Look, he's getting a shot in the back by the 22.
Yeah,
Joey's like, hey, man, I know what you're trying to do, and you're gonna cost me the win if you continue this. Denny better hurry it up.
15 laps to go.
Look at the run, the turn, the 22 gets down the back straightaway. Here he's going to try to jump to the outside of the 35. So Riley's got a little bit newer tire, even though they've ran him down.
0.4 of a second that time by, and the traffic mounting for Logano.
Man, that's all it took was just one lap car to aggravate this 22, and Denny's 0.3 back. Look, 35 drives down across the nose of the 22, taking his line away.
Logano jumps to the outside of Herbst.
Logano's going to be frustrated about that.
13 to go. He's able to get by, but look who's up in front of him. Bell is there.
11 just struggles around the top of the racetrack there. He's good, but just not good enough. But this lap traffic's not going to be easy.
Logano,
a lot of Toyotas in this lap traffic here.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the role that a manufacturer can play in this situation. Gets by Bell, working on Nemechek, then it will be the Chevy of Bowman. Coming to 11 to go.
Joey, shoe back on the bottom, 11's right with him.
Over 300 laps led tonight, the most that Logano has ever led in a cup race.
And the problem with Denny's car is that what he's struggling with gets much worse in traffic.
Yes.
And Joey's able to get through the traffic better. And Levin's just struggling with turn right there. You see him tight up off the corner.
And going up doesn't help him as well. When he runs the top of the racetrack, like right here, he just must have to be so patient with the front tires. He cannot get the run down the straightaway he needs.
And that was the chance right there. That lap traffic made it as hard as they could on the 22.
9 left for Logano. Advantage back to a half a second.
Now teammate Blaney, he won't be wanting to make it hard. I'll let this 22 clear off the corner here so he can finish the throttle and drive away.
Blaney back there in 11th. Blaney's won the last 6 races for Ford as a manufacturer. Logano trying to join his teammate, fellow champion. Here he is, 7 to go.
What a car. Paul Wolf. Marty interviewed him when he climbed on top of the trailer. The only crew chief to stand on his trailer for that hour of practice watching. Whatever he saw, whatever he adjusted, whatever he thought he needed, it has worked for this 22. Dale, Marty called you the prophet for bringing North Wilkesboro back. Well, you and Marcus Smith should expect a fruit basket from Joey Logano, because this has become a playground for this 22 car. Man, he runs well at this racetrack.
He's just dominated every time we've come here.
Yeah, I mean, the results have been remarkable.
Yeah.
The laps led, the 199 of 200 a couple of years ago, the 139 out of 250 last year when he finished second, racing Bell at the end, and then what he's done here tonight, just absolutely blasting the competition. 5 to go.
Tire changes, power changes, aero changes. There have been things thrown at this 22 car. This isn't just a rinse and repeat, show back up at North Wilkesboro, but those changes have not affected the advantage this 22 has over the field. I think it was Christopher Bell who had to pass, well, it was Joey Logano last year in the All-Star race, so he was even the guy in the mix for the race he hadn't won.
Now Logano just wants to make sure he sees the white flag, don't need a caution, you know, pit stop, get more tires, a restart, and all the things that could come with that. 3 to go for driver 22.
Ryan Blaney wins last week. Joey comes in here this weekend down 242 laps led comparable to last year. And he comes out of here, I don't know how many laps he's led tonight, but 320, so now he's on the plus side. The season looks completely different after just one event.
His dad's ready to celebrate and anxious, I'm sure. 2 laps to go, that time by.
Well, 45 starts since the last time. You hope Joey has his family here, his growing family, to celebrate this with.
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. Logano through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Legends built this place, and a 3-time champion is going to win here tonight. Joey Logano, first career victory of the season comes at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah! Hell yeah! Good car. What a car. Good job, Paul. Good job, team. Yeah, that feels good. Good job.
Good job. Did exactly what we're supposed to do today.
Hell yeah. Perfect. Good job.
Look at the relief on Paul's face after a struggle this season to try to produce speed in this car. They brought the best car tonight. Field had a few hiccups in the first stage, really hand control to this 22, and he didn't give it back.
Career wins, 16th season with a victory for Joey Logano, who tonight leads 323 and takes the top spot at North Wilkesboro.
You're giving his son a little heads up. Got his attention. First time I've ever seen it burn out the entire lap after the race. Pretty impressive.
Tell you what else is impressive. That's his 36th win driving a Ford, passing Mark Martin for third in that category. Entering the night, there were 9 drivers that won last year that hadn't been to victory lane this season. Joey Logano makes it 8. Here's Shannon Spake.
Congratulations, Joey Logano. Oh my goodness, you've done so many cool things in your career. How does a dominant win at North Wilkesboro, the first points race in 30 years, sound to you?
That sounds great. A win anywhere at this point would have sounded great, but coming here to North Wilkesboro is awesome. I picked up a passenger on the backstretch. We had some fun together, but what a great car. Paul Wolf, what a great car he put together for us today, and just was able to execute a smooth race. Everyone on pit road did a good job. Engine at Roush Yates was good, and I guess it just feels good to get back in victory lane. It's been a tough year,
Briscoe
so getting to show up Punzo Mustang, doing some big smoky donuts around his place felt really good.
Joey, you've led over 300 laps in the All-Star events here, more than 300 laps tonight. How do you explain the magic that happens when you get in this 22 car here at this track?
I just think it's something that clicks for us. You know, Paul put together a good car, and I feel like I know exactly what I need to go fast around this place, and he's able to give it to me. So that's, you know, I knew coming this weekend, I said we got to capitalize on the points. You know, a win was great, but we really need the points, and so really capitalize on those tonight.
You're 15th right now, but I want to ask you about those last 100 laps, the pit stop, racing Denny Hamlin to get off pit road. How much do you and Coleman Presley live for moments like that in races?
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was there for sure. Denny got really good there the last run, and honestly, it was whoever was out front was going to win the race that last run. You know, we were pretty dominant most of the race, but, you know, just as the race went along, Denny got better there at that last run. So just did a decent job keeping up with the track. They did a good job keeping up. But, gosh, it feels good. I say, hey, my wife and all the rest of the kids, they're all at home. I wish you guys were here to celebrate, but Dad's going to be home a little late.